Hey everybody, it's bonus content. I'm Alex, joined by the Huge, as you are now collectively known, and our guest Michael, who's off somewhere right now. We're not really doing bonus content this week, but since we have to set up to record, we're just going to let you hear the conversations we have. Although we can't talk about work anymore, Tony.
That's all right.
Scott, can you
I
tell
kind
me
of got
about
what I
work?
needed out of that conversation. So
Yeah, sure.
Is it
So the
cool?
reason why I was kind of dodging the subject the other time is because I
Mm.
didn't know anything about the job really.
Oh, okay.
I had never
Fair.
been in the building.
Sorry, buddy.
I didn't have an accurate job description the 5 times I asked what would I be doing.
Okay.
hmm
so
That's
So-
worrisome, don't you think?
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Mike.
basically,
What up?
Continue, Scott. We're learning about Scott's job right now, so.
I go in at 9.
hmm
9
9
be there at
p.m.
9 p.m. I walk in, I sit down, and I immediately start taking orders from voicemails.
Okay. So
And
people
they,
just leave messages and you fill those orders on a computer like a robot.
Yep.
All right, I can dig it.
yep.
And then I leave at 1.
Do people like come in?
Yeah, it's this is still the fish house.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
just not on the floor, but I do have a window so I can watch all the people on the floor, but I don't actually have time to watch the people on the floor.
but like
It's just
mid-
there.
At midnight people will come in and put in orders?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
they're,
these people.
they're supposed to be all in before midnight.
Yeah. I don't know who these people
I come
are.
in at 9. I do most of it up until that cutoff point.
So you can do 9 to 1 a.m. That's not bad.
No,
I thought you were going to be like working till 6 a.m.
no.
No. How would he
no.
ever do school at the same time as that?
Well, you work till 6 a.m. and you go to school at like 12 noon.
And then you.
And then
get
you
real
die.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'd have to work till 6 a.m. and then go to school at 12:30 straight from work,
Hell
and
yeah.
then I can die.
All right, Mike. Do you want to know how this is gonna happen?
Sure.
We all have like Audacity open on our
Oh, yeah.
preferred recording platform, which is usually our computer. And we all just count down. I count down from 5 to 1, then we all hit record together. So when I say 1, that's when you hit record. That's it. And you just leave that in the back.
Wait, do I hit it when you say 1, or do you go 1 and then I hit it?
You're already perfect.
You're right. Yeah, you already nailed it. On 1. I say on 1 before we start the count. So it is on, like when I say the w in 1, that's when you can hit it. It's cool.
And then I say record, and then the guests hate me.
You should start doing that, Scott. Record. Wait, what? Did I fuck it up?
I thought we were gonna do the clap thing.
Why would we do the clap?
Do you not know what the clap thing is?
What? Where you like
media. Like yes.
where everybody
That too.
claps?
Yes.
And then I sync on the claps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is like that, except I don't have to do that kind of work.
Well, I'm just I guess it all comes back to do we clap on 1 or do we? Clap
We don't clap at all.
Oh, there's no clapping. I thought there was some booty clapping going up on.
I mean, the booty clapping happens, but that's usually like after dark.
Okay.
What's it like?
It's kind of dark in your room,
Well, there's a lot.
and everyone else. I can't even see their room, so it's pretty dark. So I don't know,
Yeah.
you can probably see all my.
It's
toys
really
and shit,
cold.
so.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, it's cold. We're literally covered in snow right now.
Yep.
Yep, 3 feet.
We're caved in. With 3
There's
feet
no
of snow.
There's no snow here, so sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I guess, too.
It's been
'cause-
raining the whole time.
Yeah. I
Our
mean,
backyard's kind of flooded, but
But, like, that's manageable. We have, like, actual 3 feet of snow.
Yep.
yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So, do you, like, hey, Michael, have you ever listened to an episode of the podcast? You can say no. I won't guilt you.
No, I haven't.
So this is how it works. We're gonna talk about video games, and then we talk about news, but there was no news really.
There was important news last week. Although I guess it wasn't gaming news, but there was important news last week.
Okay.
I wrote it. There's some pretty heavy hitting news last week.
Okay.
But it's not gaming related, so
And we might have covered it last week, so probably not. And then
Medea gets a Halloween movie. I bet you didn't cover that.
no, that doesn't fall under the video game
Yeah.
centric stuff that we usually aim at. And then we'll do emails and
Hard-hitting
voicemails.
stuff.
if
You
we
guys actually
have
get
any.
those?
Yeah.
Oh,
We usually have at least one voicemail every show.
someone actually calls
Yeah.
and leaves a message.
They call our
Yep.
number.
Like they actually pick up the phone and dial it and make the effort to.
I've
Yep.
had people record audio on their computers and email it to us as well.
Wow.
I know. This is
Maybe I should
alarming.
listen to this show.
It's all right. We put on a pretty good show.
I feel like we should have done a live show or of some sorts at PSX. You probably did, but I probably wasn't invited.
No, I did. Don't
Yeah.
like try and make me feel like a fucking villain. Okay. Listen, I would have loved to have you on our
Hey,
Game of the Year
everyone.
content.
It's nice to meet you all, by the way. I'm
All right.
Mike.
Yeah, this is
I
Mike.
I don't know if I know any of these people. Do I know any of these people?
You don't.
Nope.
Okay.
We've got Scott,
Hello.
Tony,
Hey.
and Nabishin, who's a little bit he's a little bit shy. So
Oh.
we're gonna have to pull him out of that shell. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is my little crab.
he
hand, I
also
guess.
he also might not be at the computer right now.
Yeah, he might have like walked away.
Can you put some lube on that the next time you?
No, none for you.
That's kind of dirty.
Also, we're live right now. So I guess like don't spill any industry secrets, Michael, since you got all them on
Dude,
fucking
I
lock.
am like the last person that has secrets. People, it's so funny. I don't know if we want to get into this, but people come to me about like asking me for information about Red Bull stuff, and I'm like, dude, I am the last person that knows anything about Red Bull stuff.
I imagine you just like send them an email and then you write something for them and email to them, and then that's all you do.
Oh, for Red Bull?
Yeah.
Like I don't even really do that. We kind of pitch stories and then I just kind of do whatever and then I build the stories myself. So I mean, there's like so little contact sometimes that yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like when people come to me about Red Bull stuff, like they want to know like, hey, how do I get sponsored or hey, how do I get to? So they have,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, the thing in France, the Red Bull Kumite in France that now everyone wants to go to. Like, how do I get to that? I'm like, how the hell would I know? Like, this thing is like next month. I'm pretty sure they were planning for it a year ago. Anyway,
Yeah, I definitely get questions more about like, oh, how do you do this? How do you know this person? As opposed to how do I Red Bull?
how do you get Greg Miller to follow you on Twitter?
You hassle him enough. That's how. That's pretty much the formula that worked here.
This is what I want to know.
All right, we're gonna start in a little bit. Are you ready?
Yes. Am I supposed to
Yeah. Well, I mean, just have
booty
like
clap this record?
you just have the recording ready, and make sure you're recording from the right device, the right microphone. I don't know if you have multiple microphones, but usually that can turn into a nightmare.
Either that or there's just going to be some awkward ass silence for 3
Forever.
hours.
That's why we do the Google Hangouts. So. I don't know if we'll hit the 3-hour mark tonight, Michael, but we'll see. We're gonna give it our best shot.
I am in this for the long haul. I am here for you.
Good.
I'm
glad we.
canceled my interview. Actually, no, that kind of got.
I was about to say you don't have to lie to me, but it's fine. You already tweeted me saying like
We're
the interview
just
got
about to
canceled.
do this interview, and I was kind of didn't really want to do it because I've been feeling tired all day, but also he didn't want to do it over Skype, and I'm like, fuck, come on. Like he wanted to do it over the phone, and I'm like, hey, doing phone interviews because I have to put it on speaker and use my voice recorder for that.
Mm.
And last minute he's like, hey, something just came up. Can we reschedule? I'm like, yes, we can. We can totally do that.
we it worked out, I guess, in the end where it'll still happen.
I know.
And-
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. It's just for my weekly story. So
Okay. Well, I hope you get it together still. I'm looking out for you.
I hope Greg Miller follows me on Twitter one day. But Is this gonna be on the internet?
This is already on the. This is
Oh,
live
yeah, it's
right
been
now.
on the internet the whole time.
Hi, Greg.
Yeah, he'll just find this and just blast us now. I like it. You know, I like that. That's the point of contention.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever works for you. All right, I'm gonna get this tweet ready.
If you see some 3-year-old barge in and be noisy, that would
Just
be
mute
my-
yourself on Google Hangout. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how to mute yourself on Google Hangout? Most people.
There's a little thing up here with like these little icons.
Yeah.
I have a mute button on my microphone. That probably works too.
Yeah, that works too. Either or. That's what I tell, and that's what Scott does anytime someone comes into his room.
Yeah.
Just start screaming at him.
Yep.
All right. Anybody need to like get a glass of water or anything?
I am all set up.
I should be good until the first break. So there will be breaks. So if you need to like run and pee, there'll be stuff in the middle of the show to do that. All right. Let's get cracking. Nabishin, you ready? All right. Cool. On 1, I need you to hit record. Not if Scott says the word record, don't listen to him.
He's a fucking liar.
He's a fucking animal.
Record.
God damn it. 5,
Record.
4.
Record.
I will come over there, Scott. I will dig through the snow.
I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, I will die halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, citizens of the world.
See, it wasn't that hard. I promise you. I made it easy.
Are we on the air?
Well, we're on air,
Yeah.
but this isn't going to be in like the cut of the show that goes out. So there's like a Google Hangout version, right, which goes right to YouTube after we finish recording. It's pretty much uncut,
Great.
uncensored,
Everything I
Raw.
said, Greg, I didn't mean it.
and that's going to be out
actually
there.
didn't mean it. I do want you to just follow me.
This is the wrong platform. Your pleas will not be heard here. But
That's because nobody listens to the show, right?
I mean, that's not true. Some people.
That's
listen
what
to
you
the show.
said.
Well, I mean, just not a lot of people listen to the show.
I mean, you said nobody. PSX. Nobody listens to this show. That is exactly. That's the words.
quote
that came out.
unquote. That's
I don't
not-
know why
but,
I
like,
do this
people
show with these
do.
other people, these other assholes, because nobody listens to this show. That is exactly what you said to me.
I did not say
Sounds
that.
right.
I mean, I probably
believe you.
said it, but yeah, I mean,
It's so many words.
enough people
I mean,
listen to the
it
show
sounds-
that
That's
like
about right.
enough people listen that like, you know, I'm happy with this, and like the people that do listen, they're all awesome. They're the
And
best
you
people.
Make
Michael.
up these people that email you audio.
Yeah, they're actually characters. Scott just does a Puerto Rican accent for all of Silver PR's voicemails.
Is that why he never acknowledges me?
Exactly,
Maybe.
because he is you, Tony.
Yeah,
Um,
it's all coming together.
it's all coming together. All right, I'll get started. Just hang back until I introduce you, Michael. You'll be fine. You do what the kids do.
Is this when we go the whole show without ever introducing the guest?
I know.
You're just there, like, can I talk in? Should I?
like
Should I just jump in?
I'm gonna jump in here and take over the intro or something. Hey
Well, I mean-
everybody, welcome to Irrational, whatever the fuck this thing is.
But like some
I
people,
cuss?
Nailed it.
sometimes when
Can
like
I curse? Is that okay?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
allowed to curse.
Okay.
Sometimes when I go on other
We have this
shows,
PG rated show.
I don't know if like I'm allowed to talk yet. And I've had it situations where like no, let's just wait for me to introduce you. I'm like, okay, shit, fuck.
I've never been on that formal of a show, so
No, I mean it makes sense.
you know.
All right, let's do this. It is Saturday, January 23rd, 2016, and you're listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm Alex O'Neill, and with me this week, I have Scott Guthier. Hi, Scott. Tony Horvath is here.
Hey,
Brian Nobishin Jackson is here.
I'm a small town guy, living a small town life. I work a small town job and pork my small town wife. The big city and its internet don't excite me at all. Cause when we're talking towns, I'm thinking small. Block parties and bingo and Friday night football. The Macy parade on the 4th of July. If you ever come down here in Steuben, you don't knock our door, so just stop on by. Oh yeah, the smallest towns have the biggest heart. The smallest mind have the biggest smarts. The smallest toes have the biggest warts. Small ass town, big ass heart. The smallest towns have the biggest heart. The smallest wall has the biggest mark. The smallest beans cost the biggest hearts. Small ass town, big ass hearts. I'm done.
Oh my god, what was that from? You have to tell me right now.
A Cleveland show.
Okay. And
Very forgettable.
I approve.
very forgettable Cleveland show. And following that up, our wonderful guest Michael Martin is here as well.
How the fuck am I supposed to follow that?
You don't.
You don't, yeah, like that's the thing.
You should
Do you
have
know any
introduced me
monologues, or-
before- You should have introduced me before that. Because now everyone's expecting some shit that I like.
some small ass town shit.
Theatrics.
What do I do?
I just yell at the audience hello every week.
Yeah, like
Yeah. For
Every
a while,
week.
I just did whatever Scott did, and then it got real boring.
Yep.
I mean, it's fair, like that. You know, I introduce Nomination last in the order of us, and I usually go for the guest. And yeah, I expect them to be upset generally after, and be like, "Well,
You're supposed to prepare me for this. I thought you sent me an email that would prepare me for this show.
I did. I told you that we have to."
You
you
didn't
have
tell
to
me this was gonna
record.
happen.
I actually did tell you you should probably listen to an episode before you come on. And
I
then
thought you
would've-
were joking about that.
Well, that worked out.
Yeah, this really it turned out real great. Michael, how are
Hi.
you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here on the interwebs with you and your 5 listeners.
That's not what you said like 30 minutes ago, but that's fine.
Oh, why you gotta bust me out like that?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to get back on this show and you know trying to get into the listeners and viewers' good graces, and you're over here.
You know, there's something that I tell everyone who ever guests here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a host on the show as a guest long enough, we'll just make you a host. It's fine.
That's not true. This is not true. So don't like getting ideas.
You
Tony,
also
you gotta,
have the option of trial by combat if you
Trial by
would like to
combat's
play-
true.
If you like to play Evolve, you will be the monster, we will be the hunters, and if you win, you're a host.
Yeah, that's how it works. This is actually a great idea, even though like it's a terrible
Even though it's
idea.
terrible.
Where's my copy of Evolve?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it's somewhere. It's in the shrink wrap still because no one played that game. But I don't know. How you doing, Michael?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty
How
good.
are the rest of you? How come you don't have a nice song to?
Because I'm not as clever and charming as Nobish.
Yeah, none of us are.
This is true. But
So like, at least I'm honest. For people who don't know, you're a writer. You write.
I do though. I put words to, I guess not paper. Well, I kind of do. Yes, I create words. And
Yeah, you birth
put
words
them on the internet
from the
for
underground.
everyone to consume.
Like where do you generally write your stuff for people who don't know?
Well, you're the host. You tell me.
I believe Red Bull. Is it
Uh,
like do they have like a separate page for their esports stuff?
Yes. They actually have a video games page and an esports page.
Mm-hmm.
So I cover everything Street Fighter on Red Bull esports. I write news for IGN.
Mm-hmm.
I also do previews there, and I've had a feature or 2 published.
Yeah.
Pixelkin, Playboy. I just realized this the other day, but I wish I could remember them all now. But I realized I wrote for like 5 different outlets in the last year that start with a P.
Mm-hmm.
Pixelkin, Playboy, Paste, and there was like 2 others that I can't remember now.
Yeah, clearly they're not as important
Yeah.
single tier sheds from those outlets.
So yeah, I
what
wrote
do
for a lot of different places.
Yeah, you've written some really cool stuff.
Thanks.
And I like it. I like your esports stuff. I got to talk to you about it
You don't
at
read it, yeah,
PSX.
that's okay.
I read some of the stuff post PSX. Okay. I mean, I don't generally read anything about esports. I'll be honest with you, but yeah, like the Capcom Cup was really cool. So it
Yeah,
was good to get
that was
some
great.
insight on that.
That was great.
But it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Do you play video games, Michael?
Occasionally, I've been known to occasionally turn on a console once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
You just write about video games. You don't play
Yeah.
them. That's
I mean,
all.
when you write about video games, you don't have time to play video games. People, there's that misconception about, man, you write about video games, that must be fun to play video games all day. Man, I don't play video games all day. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm lucky if I get like 2 or 3 hours. Nah, maybe not a day. Sometimes a week.
Yeah, I mean, like, you also have, kids and a family you gotta take care of too.
Got
So
a few responsibilities.
you're an adult with things to do.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll talk about them in just a minute. For
Video
just
games
to-
or my kids?
the video games.
Oh, okay.
I don't know your kids, man. I don't care. You got kids.
Well, that's kind of weird, but okay.
No, we'll talk about video games. Is typically what we cover here.
Video games.
For some housekeeping to catch up on some stuff. The game of the year content is all done finally. Still, it's done
Yeah.
now. So that's all out there. If you haven't listened to it, you should give it a listen. Even though I don't expect any of you to listen to all of it, we did get some helpful
any of it.
feedback, or any of it in your case, Michael. We did get some helpful feedback. Just seeing what people thought. A lot of people really dug it, which I was really happy to hear. The one thing people brought up was our best song category. So there's a lot too much dead air during that because we were like working through the Google Doc on that one.
I thought you were going to cut that out.
I
I
cut
thought you did too.
I cut out. Well, because we came back before then, and I want people to have a realistic idea of the amount of time it takes us to to figure this out.
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a thing. Like when I was listening to it, like it's hard to know because I had the context of being there and like knowing what we were doing. So, like I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but. Yeah, it was at the end of the day. It was like 2 minutes of stuff, and if like that's the biggest complaint people's got, then I'm okay with that.
What was the best song?
Megalovania from Undertale.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard it. It's pretty cool.
I'm not. I think I loaded Undertale up for like 5 minutes and turned it off.
It's all right. I like that game quite a bit.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would count myself as one of them.
Okay, fair enough. It's a bit of a slow burn to start for most people, it seems.
Yeah.
But I got into it pretty much right away. I didn't have any Let's Plays go up this week, and I'm sorry about that. There was just some stuff going on
Lazy.
with the PS3. Yeah, I'm just a lazy piece of garbage. So
This is what happens when you invite me on the show. I pretty much just
Yeah.
talk shit about you.
you're just gonna talk shit in the background.
3 hours or
At least
whatever.
people have a realistic idea of the kind of monster I am. Really.
Either that or the kind of monster I am.
I mean, or both.
Yeah, it's both.
Because like Tony's also gonna be there talking shit about me.
Oh, okay.
so,
Yeah.
Good.
Now people, there's more voices. Speaking the truth for the people to understand.
Speaking the truth.
If you want me back, let them know, people.
Yeah. Please let us know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I wrote a little piece on IP, just 7 games I'm looking forward to in 2016. So that's kind of like a little most anticipated thing. I talked a little bit about Persona and Zelda and my kind of worries with those as well in there. So check that out, I guess, and that's about it. I got some other stuff I'm working on in the pipeline. So
You
stay
don't
tuned
actually
for that.
say it, but like that nice little tease would be nice.
Yeah, I'm working on some stuff freelance related, and I'm also working on something for our game of the year, just like a little written piece for that that I'm almost done with, but I want to make sure it's like good, so it's probably gonna take a while.
Rational Passions article. How was Game of the Year without Greg and Evan this year?
Yeah,
Heavenly.
that's what it was. It's just that. Oh, you guys have no idea. That's it. Let's talk about video games. Michael, did you play any video games that you would like to talk about? I don't even
This
know.
week?
Yeah, or like generally recently.
I
Wherever.
don't remember.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that matter.
I think one time I remember walking into an arcade and playing Donkey Kong.
Did it do you well?
Yeah. I think I can't remember what day it was that I finished it up, but I recently actually finished a complete 100% all achievements, including the stupid 0 point achievements for Titanfall.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I mean, there was a couple reasons for that. I guess one's was slightly an obsession.
Yeah, as you told me at PSX, Titanfall Game of the Year 2015.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, and I I think Bloodborne. I remember you telling me your list for Game of the Year, and I believe like Bloodborne was the only game that I've actually played through
Mhm.
this year, and there was something else that I tried like I don't know half an hour of or something like that. Maybe it was Witcher 3. I can't remember.
Probably.
Um, but yeah, I got a little obsessive, and I also was hoping to turn that into, I guess, a story at some point. So I'm still trying to kick that around. But yeah, I finished up every single achievement on Titanfall.
Wow. I don't know anyone that's done that.
I don't.
Although I don't know anyone that likes Titanfall as much as you, which is good.
I
Like
I
I
mean
love
I
Titanfall,
I
so
I love it. I mean I just and I that's kind of the reason why I wanted to play through it, and I guess hopefully make some sort of story out of this. I need to actually play Call of Duty Black Ops 3 to get a little bit of reference, but I don't know how many other games you can play as where it has the mobility that Titanfall has, and you can run around in giant robots punching and shooting the shit out of each other. So
yeah. The game really does the best of both worlds
yeah.
feeling.
Mhm.
And it's funny because like I played a bunch of the Black Ops 3 beta like late last year, and then I was like, man, this is a lot like Titanfall. I wonder if I went back and played Titanfall, like what I would think of it. And I like Titanfall a lot more.
Everyone that I have talked to that has played both likes Titanfall more. Unfortunately, Titanfall just kind of fell flat on its face and
Hmm.
for a lot of different reasons. But um, yeah, I finished that up, and then I actually took down like some stats because I kind of want to delete it off my Xbox now.
Okay.
And I spent like 5 days, 21 hours, and 7 minutes in that game all total.
That's awesome.
Pretty good.
And that's like across like since it came out, pretty much, right?
Well, so technically, when it first came out, I played it on PC. So I think I put like 30 some hours into it.
Hmm.
And I got it, I don't know, when it was like super cheap on Xbox at some point, like, I don't know, last year or whatever. And I really actually didn't start playing it heavily until I think November,
Hmm. Okay.
because the bulk of my playtime, in fact, I think November is my Xbox Live anniversary month. And
Hmm.
they send you this email, and they sent me this weird infographic with different sort of like different, I don't know, factoids or whatever about my time on Xbox Live. And my most played game in November or of the year was Titanfall, and that was because I had played it all through November, and I had, I don't know, like 400 hours or whatever it was
Yeah,
all in November.
that's awesome.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I finished up every achievement. The reason I finished up the last two 0 point achievements was because you had to hit 10th generation, and in order to do that, you have to finish up a bunch of goofy challenges and crap. And so I did that, and 100%. This is kind of what I
and
used to do
you're
with my
like,
gamer
man,
score.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I kind of nailed it.
So I used to be like really heavy into getting achievements. So kind of like how some people are with trophies. I was pretty much that way with like gamer score.
Would you call yourself an achievement hunter?
Nah, not anymore.
Would you call yourself a monster hunter?
Never. I have never been a Monster Hunter. I tried Monster
Zero.
Hunter on PSP once, and I was like, this game is stupid. Why do people play this? But
It's good.
um, it's probably the wrong platform to try it on anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I used to like about 2 or 3 years ago. I quit hunting achievements. Um, for some reason, I just got really locked into Titanfall and got kind of obsessed with it.
Yeah. I mean, it paid off, I guess. You had a good time with it.
I mean, I did. I'm kind of in one of those weird kind of funks or whatever where like you
Gaming
finish,
rut.
well, like you finish something and now you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an entire, I have like every console I could play something, but I just don't really want to.
Yeah, no, I definitely know the feeling.
So I played a game for a preview also, I guess. I'm not sure exactly when it's going up on IGN, but I think it's probably Monday.
Can you
Called
talk about it?
I think so. It's called We Are the Dwarves.
Oh, I've heard of this game.
Yeah, if you've ever played, oh shoot, what was it, Commandos, on PC. It's kind of an older. I couldn't tell you when the last one came out, but it's kind of an older sort of. They call it like a real-time action strategy. So basically, imagine if, I don't know, you played like a real-time strategy game, but you only have maybe a few units that have different abilities, and you can pause the gameplay in between, so you can kind of, tell your units what you want them to do. That's kind of what it's like. It's got a really cool premise where they're like dwarf space astronaut whatever things.
Space dwarves?
Except, well, but space is made out of stone, and
What?
all the planets and stars are contained within hollows within stone.
Whoa.
So they basically took like fantasy dwarves and stuck them in space, but space is all made out of stone. And
That's
so it's
amazing.
kind of a cool premise. Yeah.
That is really cool, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Space is made out of stone.
I was like, when they emailed me about it, I was like, oh, why hasn't anybody else thought of this? I thought it
Yeah.
was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Execution, so
We'll see.
they still have some time to polish it up.
When's the preview gonna go up again?
I feel like it's gonna be Monday, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Check that out for sure.
IGN.com.
I'll keep it locked, as
Keep
they
it
say.
locked. 8.5. Keep it locked.
8.5.
Keep the lights on.
I
Keep
believe-
my lights on.
That is what you gave our Game of the Year content was an 8.5. Keep it locked.
Yes. Even though I didn't consume any of your Game of the Year content.
That's fine. You weren't invited into any of it apparently at all, so
Yeah.
it's obviously my fault.
I had to bully my way onto the show, just so you know, people.
That is not true.
It's evident.
I had to
Evident.
bully my way onto the show.
I wanted to have you on. It wasn't
Yes,
like a matter of
Yes, he wanted. He wanted to have
I'm
me.
skeptical of that notion.
Until he met me in person, he had no choice.
Yeah, there was a little bit of fear, definite fear going on, but that was besides the point. Did you play anything else, Michael?
No.
No.
I did not.
You like Street Fighter a lot, from what I understand.
I do.
It's pretty good. Are you excited about 5?
Especially after watching a tournament, sort of an exhibition tournament that they did earlier this week, and finally getting a chance to see people play it sort of competitively. I mean, it's an exhibition, so you're not going to see like the greatest stuff, especially it's a game that's not out yet. But super excited for that and the Pro Tour, and I'm actually there's no release date yet, but I'm actually really excited to see what happens with Tekken 7.
Okay. It's got Akuma in it, so
It does.
that's cool, I guess. It's fine.
I think that's really cool.
Tekken
I
Cross Street Fighter.
can't wait to dig in. See how-
Quick question, I guess, before we get off and move on to somebody else's games. Capcom was I saw this news story going around, I think last week or earlier this week, about Capcom like trying to turn fighting games into a esport, like take it real. Something there were a lot of enter the fight puns I saw. I wasn't familiar with that. I wanted to know what you thought.
Well, I mean, Capcom took Street Fighter down the esports road, I guess a couple years ago, but especially last year with the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that wasn't them at least acknowledging that they're serious, then I don't know what, what else they could do. But specifically for Street Fighter V, the entire game's been built from the ground up for esports. They're totally embracing it. Their philosophy has been, and that's I think one of the cool things about the development side of this is that Yoshinori Ono, who's the producer, who also just happened to be featured on Playboy.com recently by a certain writer named Michael Martin. You can go check that out. It's totally safe for work. Him and his team have been focused on pushing Street Fighter down the esports road because that's kind of the evolution of fighting games currently. And I think that they've got a solid plan, and basically all it comes down to their net code for their game. If it's good, they'll be okay. If it's not, then they're going to be in the same situation that like NetherRealm is with Mortal Kombat X, and they're creating a new net code a year after the game came out.
Yeah. At least they have a catchy name like Mortal Kombat XL.
Yeah, if you don't have it on PC, you're screwed. Or if you don't
sorry
have
about
a
that.
PS4, you're screwed, yeah.
We did get a tweet saying that Titanfall is Game of the Year every year. I just wanted to share that with you.
Oh, well then, who was that person?
At Selfish
They're great.
Pancakes.
They're great.
Great fucking
Good
Twitter
for you.
handle.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Now
Okay.
there's a listener with taste.
There's a listener who finally understands, except he's listening to this show, so
Yeah,
full circle. You can't win them all.
Exactly.
Tony, have you been playing any video games?
Yeah. So let's see. What did we talk about on Wednesday? I don't remember.
You played
Diablo, I think.
Tribs.
You
Oh,
could
yeah.
look at the doc or something. Oh.
Yeah. Well, he didn't write anything in the doc because he's Tony, so
That's
Yeah,
not
we don't write
normally the
anything in the
case.
back.
yeah.
Yeah, so I played some Trimps, but I've not played that since I lost the save on Wednesday evening. It's an alright incremental game, I guess.
I mean, the numbers go up in that
Yeah.
game.
And then you get more numbers to make the numbers go up faster.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
I like that game a little
I played some Diablo. Season's going alright.
bit. Okay. How alright is alright? Have you died? Have you lost your hardcore characters?
No, I'm not playing hardcore this season.
Okay.
But
Because you're a baby? Like,
yeah, exactly. For that.
Is this after the newest patch?
Yeah, season 5 started last Friday.
Okay. I was thinking about jumping back in on that.
Yeah, it's a good time. Like the game gets very active when the new season starts for a couple weeks. So that's pretty good. Pushing solo greater rifts this season. When last season I played a support build, so I wasn't really doing solo. So doing solo this season is a nice change of pace, and it's been pretty fun. I'm playing Crusader, which I hadn't played like during a season before, and that's been a good time. So yeah, and Diablo's still pretty good loot game.
yeah, like, did they change anything major with the new patch?
I think they added a whole new area, but I can't tell you what it's about because there's not really a focus on it at all. So
Okay.
there's stuff, but I don't know anything about it.
All right. Whatever works. I mean, that game's probably still pretty good. And if you say it's good,
Yeah,
is the season supported on the console versions?
You
I don't
can't
actually
play
know.
a seasonal character and like be ranked on leaderboards on console, but you can like you get all of the changes and stuff, so you'd be able to play with all the new items and stuff on console.
Okay. That's pretty cool. At least you can still see some of that stuff. What else?
So let's see. We talked about Trinity and Diablo, and then I've been playing this like kind of alright, weird roguelike game on PS4 called Dragonfin Soup.
Ugh, I hate that game.
I think it's
Sorry,
alright.
guys.
Dragon Fin Soup.
No one likes this game. Like the reviews are awful, but
I do
I
have
had-
this.
I had such high hopes for that game.
yeah,
I've seen it
a
at
lot of
PAX
people-
twice.
Yeah.
Explain to me what Dragon Fin Soup is. It's a roguelike,
Yeah,
apparently.
it's a roguelike. I haven't played any of the story mode really, except for like I started it because I didn't really know what the game was, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do this.
You're like a kawaii anime princess, right? Like,
No.
Okay. my B.
Yeah.
You are basically the grown-up version of Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay. I was close.
Yeah. And so you go through, and I can't tell you a single thing about the story, but
She's an
basically,
alcoholic, apparently.
She is an alcoholic. All the healing items are alcohol.
Okay.
So it's just perfect for you, Alex.
Yeah.
Yep.
I drank way too much last night, so
For no reason.
we were snowed
For
in.
no reason.
It was for no reason. We were snowed in, and for some odd reason, that felt like a good idea.
Yeah, might as well. So it's this weird like turn-based roguelike game. So like every time you make an action, all of the enemies also make an action. But otherwise, it's kind of like I don't really have a good thing to compare it to, but like basically like the entire game board is made up of tiles. And so it's direction based. Like, so when you move, you're facing the direction you moved. Then to hit an enemy, you have to turn to the direction that they're in and then hit the button to attack.
So it's like
or to use
a
your skill or
tactics
whatever.
game, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a roguelike turn-based tactics game, yeah. And I don't know. I think the survival mode's been all right. Like, it definitely has problems. There are like it's glitchy. The UI is not the greatest, but
It's the worst.
but
It is the worst.
But it's not terrible, and I've been having a good time. Like I think the game looks pretty good. The music is fantastic.
Yeah, the controls frustrate me, and I think that's my biggest issue with it.
They do a cold open to the mechanics of this game, and
That's rough.
Yeah, there's actually there's no tutorial in game, so you have to go on the menu, and then there's a menu option that says read or die. And it's just a link to the basically the manual that would come with a physical copy of the game.
It's a link to like it's got like a website URL in it.
I mean it's
if you don't have a computer, you can just die.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's messed up.
That's how Disney Infinity is, actually.
Really? It just has a link.
They don't have an instruction manual, and
but I bet there's like a reasonable tutorial there.
Oh, there is, but it's just kind of funny if you want to actually read something, then it directs you to a website.
Yeah.
Well, this one it doesn't take you to a website. It actually it's literally like scan, not at like picture quality, but like they programmed in the manual that would come with this game, and you just can read it.
Most digital copies of games have like a PDF file manual that you can pull up.
Yeah.
Which it's so weird to like think that manuals are not a thing anymore.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, the game it's got some stuff going for it, but there are more downsides than upsides. I've been enjoying it for like the 4 hours that I put into it so far.
Yeah.
So.
As long as you're having fun, Tony.
Exactly.
Just don't let it destroy you from the inside out.
Eventually it probably will happen.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
That's it.
Just Dragonfin Soup.
Just Dragonfin Soup.
Any updates on Tribs? Did you finish Tribs? Did you beat
I
Tribs again?
I haven't touched it since I lost my save.
I haven't touched it
Losing a save.
So I was playing
at all.
on Wednesday, right before we were on H-Bomb and Friends 100.
Which you should go listen to.
Which you should definitely go check out. Alex and I were on that.
Wow, that's the only reason I should listen to it, jerks.
No, I just like...
No, I got the message.
All right, fair enough. I'm not going to argue it.
Harold's just crying somewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, Harold.
But, so, I was, like, right before that show started, I was playing Trimps, and then I closed the browser because I was doing some other stuff, and then, like, I was, like, referencing it because I had put it in the doc, like, as a game that I had played, and they asked me about it, so I went to open it just because someone had mentioned it, so I felt the need. And then it was like, you should start from the beginning. And, it just put me at the beginning and didn't have my save. So I was like, well, I guess I'm done with this game.
Yep, I guess Tribs is dead to me. GG. Yep. Cool. Well, Dragonfin Soup. I had like a fascination with that game from a distance, so I guess I just won't play it now.
I mean, you own it. It was a PS Plus game.
I do have it.
Do you?
It's probably worth, as a person who's like sort of into roguelike games,
to just give it a shot.
To just
go play
experience.
Rogue Legacy.
That's true. Rogue
there
Legacy
are
is-
tons of better roguelike games, but this one looks pretty.
Let me tell you about Spelunky, Michael.
Yeah,
I hate that game.
I love that game. I know you hate that game. You
Can't
told me as
stand
much.
that game.
It's so good. Just because that game's better than you.
Actually, I
doesn't
don't
mean you
hate
have
it.
to
It's just that game frustrates me. But
It's a hard game.
It is hard.
Rogue Legacy is awesome.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy is fun. I finished that recently. again, like the New Game Plus playthrough
Congratulations.
at some point.
Did you finally do the challenge bosses?
No. No. I think I did one of them. I think I did the eyeball. I don't remember. But yeah, no. No thank you. Wham bam, no thank you, ma'am. Scott, what about you? Video games?
Nothing too new this week.
Okay.
Because, yeah, nothing's really come out.
Yeah, we're in a lull right now.
So yeah, just some more tabletop.
So you played some LOL. No, I'm just kidding.
He did.
I really wanted you to like just segue right into. So yeah, we're in a lull. So I played some LOL, League of Legends. Did you play any League of Legends, Scott? That's what I'm trying.
Well,
to
I just call it for now.
Oh, you. It's better than League. Ugh. All right. Tabletop Sim League. You discovered Dominion is on Tabletop Sim.
Yeah.
So we got to play that.
So you gotta find people, gather the army of Dominion players, and see if they can play. I do like that game.
More Crypt,
Seems good.
more Faster Than Light. Because
Yeah.
Faster Than Light kind of just acts like an incremental game.
Yeah. We also got a tweet from Selfish Pancakes saying, "Ugh, Dragon Fin Soup."
See what I mean? There's like everyone just knows that this game wasn't great.
I feel bad because
Yeah,
like I said,
it
I
kinda
saw that
sucks.
game twice at PAX, and I had high hopes. I mean, I just don't remember the demos that I played
Sure.
were bad, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is like, are all the Dominion expansions in this tabletop sim? I
Yep.
guess like everything. is,
Everything.
like,
Yeah.
everything that's ever been a card game is in that game.
Not really, but did you see that I found Greg's like hentai game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there.
The goddesses of
That goddess deck building game.
what is it called?
I don't have the name on the top of my head. I could look it up, but why?
I don't know. I was just curious. You build like Venus looks like a Jupiter. It's just like they just look like women with snake tails and
Hold on.
What
It's
are we
called
talking about?
Tanto Cuore.
the card game that Greg got at
Oh, right.
Yeah.
the Otakon.
No, that was PAX.
That was
Yeah,
it was PAX.
there was a small.
It was
booth
in the
where,
dark
like, there
corner
was,
of
like,
PAX.
Yeah, it was right.
We
near
were
the-
talking about Dante's Inferno for a second.
Right near their front door, there was like some lady who was trying to teach people how to play, and Greg was like, "This has anime boobs. I'm buying it."
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Well, that and like the girl demoing it was like, you know,
Like female.
yeah, it made Greg very nervous. This is our friend Greg Blaney, Michael, who you've not talked to. He is a wonderful human being.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think the laugh was necessary, but
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Sorry, we love Greg.
You,
do.
you just have to reassure yourself so much of it. I find it really funny that
I love Greg.
I know, but you have
so-
to reassure yourself of
I
that
do.
so much.
I do have like he
I
gives
don't
me enough reason
understand.
to doubt it on a regular basis.
Sorry, he moved to Florida with Joe, where like the ex-hosts go.
Yeah, that's apparently when you get fired, you just even though you didn't.
You just leave.
We're sending Evan there.
Oh
as
yeah.
well. Dropping
He
the
probably already
detonate.
owns a manor there.
Yeah, probably. He probably owns a manor in every state in this country.
Wouldn't be surprised.
What were we talking about, Scott?
I don't remember anymore.
Dante's
I'm pretty
Inferno.
sure I
You're
finished
talking about
one.
Dante's
Tabletop.
Inferno, yes.
And Tanto Cuore, which is the name of that game.
Tanto Corey and Dante's Inferno. Did you play any new tabletop games outside of Dominion? Curious.
Mostly Secret Hitler, Mao, that kind of stuff.
The classics.
Those games are good.
All right. Nabishin, video games. We're back to you. You didn't get to talk about them last week, so
I don't even remember what I played last week. Doesn't
you
really
played
matter.
what's it? The beta, I guess, for Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. That was on your
Sorta.
list. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know what you thought of that.
Something.
Something.
He thought something.
It's more of Plants vs
A
Zombies Garden
game?
Warfare. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be enjoyable for me and my nephew to play together, and that's pretty much the only reason I would ever get it. But
Mhm.
other than that, there's nothing really and I'm in my like my lull right now, most definitely. Like there's nothing really like I keep
Titanfall could always satisfy that.
Yeah.
I just keep buying stuff, but
Fill that
like
void.
like immediately I just like stop afterwards. Like I bought Lego Batman 3 because that was like $8. And I paid like an hour of that, and I stopped.
Yeah. Beyond Gotham.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, wrong.
I mean,
You're
no.
among friends.
No, that was good. That's welcome here.
But yeah, like I got that. Got a Boy in His Blob because I always heard that for years about that on the Wii, and I bought that. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Played it for about an hour, then I stopped. That's pretty just that's one of those chill games because there's no real challenge to it. It's there to be cute and adorable, and
Yeah.
that's all it's really about. There's no real challenge. Kind of like a Kirby's Epic Yarn, but like even easier.
Okay.
I would say.
How do you find the camera angles in that game?
The Boy in His Blob.
Yeah. So
That's fine.
strangely, I was talking with someone else about that game today, and they said that like the camera angles or something gave them like motion sickness.
What?
Yeah.
I've seen the Boy in His Blob. It seems normal.
It's pretty normal. Really.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he said it made him sick. So I said, well, go get ginger pills because that's what I use when I get motion sickness from games.
Yeah. I mean, games too cute. That's what we learned.
Cute, so cute it will make you vomit.
Exactly. It's on
Jelly
Xbox One
beans.
now, right?
Xbox One, and
Nah.
PS4, and Vita.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Vita. I saw it on Xbox.
I wrote the news story for that.
That it released.
That it released, yeah. Or they got a
Yeah.
release date or whatever.
How many hits
Weird
did
thing
that
about the
get?
Vita right now.
Oh, somebody please continue Nabishin.
Oh,
Hits don't matter here.
oh, yeah. Weird thing about the Vita right now, like the store's not working. I think it's like it's just a weird thing. Like you just can't load into it. So like
not
I
good.
wanted to play on my Vita, but I can't download it right now. So it'll probably iron itself out in a few days. So whatever.
Yeah.
Other than that though, like it's just been like I tried Drawn to Death. And I played that for about 30 minutes and then I stopped. It was online multiplayer. Well, it was online multiplayer, but I didn't get into a match. There was like only 18 people online at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like the aesthetic and like the premise of it seems really cool, but like it's not my type of game. So but it was something I just wanted to have an opinion of and give a chance for it. But like it's something like after playing Splatoon, it's like nah, I'm not even remotely even drawn to something like this. So.
Yeah. You're not even drawn to death.
No. No.
Nope. Okay.
No. You
Worth
see,
it. Worth a shot at least.
But like the main things I've been playing that I actually spent time with a lot of Super Smash Brothers. That's just been pretty much every time I head over to Mark and Katie's. Like I just bought them the DLC because like fuck it, you guys are cheap asses, so I'll buy it for you. And so like they got Cloud and Ryu and everything like that. So like now they have everything, so I don't have to bring my Wii U over. So like now we just play together and just have like all the content there. So that's been super fun to go and get them playing pretty much every time I go over there. It's definitely every Sunday because it's like right before Gallivant. We play like Smash for like an hour. Then after Gallivant we play Smash for an hour. Then I leave.
That's good.
But yeah, that's always fun.
I like it. You getting warmed up just in time for Bayonetta to come out. So
Yeah, I guess. That's pretty much for Smash. I was thinking of looking to that Project M thing and just seeing just to test it out because I heard it's like stupid easy just to even get that thing started. So.
yeah, I've played around with it before. It's
Yeah, I
weird.
just wanted to see what it looks like now. Cause it's like it's not updating anymore, so I like to see the final version of that. Pretty sure me and Mark can take around with that and just have some good fun with that.
Yeah.
I got out my PS2 and like started playing the Mega Man X collection, just because I felt like playing something something familiar, something new, something I know I could beat and just get it over with, and something I really enjoy. One of my favorite games, Mega Man X, and I beat that, and that was great as always.
Yeah.
It's weird how that game was like the presentation of that game is like, because like Mega Man X is so good, the first one. X2 was not as good. It was okay, but not as good. X3 is great. 4 is like another one of my favorites, and then 5 was okay. 6 was okay. I just never beat that game. That's the only X game I haven't beat. And 7 is travesty.
Does it go beyond 7?
There's an 8, but like no one cares after that. It went 3D at 7, so like that's when everything got ruined. So.
I mean, like they have to get to 10 so they can make Mega Man XX. Like,
they never got to 10. They didn't bring it to 9.
I
After 7 ruined everything. Even though 8, I played the demo of 8 back in software and etc. I played the demo of that on the PS2, and like it was still 3D, but like it was like 2.5D and stuff like that, and it seemed okay, but like it's still 3D, so who cares?
Yeah.
It fucked it all up and had this character named Axel in it, which was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after Mega Man X, there's no point in playing those games anymore. Mega Man X 6, I mean. After that, there's no point in playing those games.
Yeah, I'm just looking at video of Mega Man X7. This just looks like a goddamn nightmare.
Oh yeah, it's the goddamn worst. Like like I rented that game because like it was like Mega Man X, but my favorite series. Of course, I want to try it out.
This is
like
2D parts with Zero. That's cool.
Yeah, it's called Mega Man X, but I don't think you even get him to like halfway through the game. X. It was a weird one of those weird dumb situations. I think that was the second time in my life when like 3D just ruined everything.
The first time being Sonic the Hedgehog, of course.
No, Sonic was fine.
Okay.
The first time was Bubsy 3D.
Oh.
I rented that game at that Blockbuster. Because I enjoy Bubsy. It's a fucking dumb game, and I enjoyed Bubsy for what it was. One of those Sonic ripoffs, but but yeah.
And then Bubsy 3D just came in and just ruined it out all for everyone.
Yeah.
No more fun in the universe.
But you could blow up an Applebee's. No one got that reference.
I did.
No. Yeah, I know you did.
That's so good. It's the best. That whatever, like whoever made that was that. I mean, that clearly wasn't like official or anything, but whatever circumstance made that happen, that Bubsy thing happen, was fucking incredible. What did they call that? Was it just also
Bubsy
called
3D?
It was just called Bubsy 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's pretty good. You can blow up an Applebee's in that.
I never actually played it, and I'm thinking about it. I just listened to the game years so many times that like I've just been.
I played it
so much.
I blew up that Applebee's.
Okay.
It was something. All right. 3D ruin anything else on your list? Not Mario World.
Not on my list, no. I just went back to that just for the fuck of it. Like I loaded up my old Wii U save, and I realized I didn't 100% in 100% it. Like I beat the game, but I did the Star Road way to beat the game. And I was like, nah, I need to like actually beat it. So I need to do all the Star Road, like Tubular and Awesome and Bodacious. Got to do all those levels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will just try 100%. I didn't do it though, but I'll probably do that eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that pretty recently. I went back and just played through the whole game. It's fun.
Yeah, like I still say like that's like it's still definitely my favorite 2D Mario, just because like all the options and all the stuff that you can do in there, like kicking a shell up vertically is like that's like a game changer, and like no other Mario game does that for whatever the fuck reason. So like I don't know why, but that's like little mechanics like that just makes it like super fun.
Yeah.
And even having the option just get in the cape and just like fucking just go into the world, just because the game just give you that option to do that, just like skipping the whole level. That's just cool. I just felt that. I find that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm with you though. It like thinking more and more about that game, especially after seeing like Mario Maker and just kind of seeing the very specific things that game can do that others can't, makes me really want to kind of go back and sit down with all of them and get like a more intimate idea of which one I like the most. But because I've always been a Mario 3 person, as you know. So,
But I think with Mario Maker proved that like if you don't have the costumes, then like almost like that's not like half the game gone.
yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
And the creativity in the world of the worlds, obviously, like the giant world and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
And other than that, like I've been going back to my old dating sims just because I've been bored and I had nothing else to play. I finally figured out how to get one to work, which was fucking amazing. That was a highlight of my week. Cause like because there's so many loopholes I had to do. Like I had to like open like a virtual desktop on my desktop for a Windows XP, and then like I had to like switch that all in Japanese, and then I had to like load up like 2 different programs for like to actually like copy the Japanese words from the game into like another translator to make the Japanese words into English, which is not really great English. It's kind of English, but you can like figure out what they're saying. And
You
like
get there, though.
yeah. And then like like and then it's playing through it and it's like enjoying it. It's like, oh yeah, Sasuke's the best girl. Why wouldn't anybody pick Sasuke? You're the fucking idiot if you don't pick Sasuke. But yeah, those are always enjoyable. I like going through stuff like that. So
Yeah. I haven't like actually sat down and played like a traditional dating sim ever. I don't think so. I should give it a shot. Just play Hateful Boyfriend.
it's
Not traditional. I know.
no, it's just the fact that like that game's just too much of a bummer. It really is. And like I played like fucked up dating sim games. Like I played School Days. That game's fucked up.
Yeah.
But like yeah, like that one's just like too much of a bummer, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
The joke worked in like after a while for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Kind of like Dive Kick.
Yeah, I mean Dive Kick worth in pretty. After I won my 15th rank game in a row, as the Baz because he's cheap and broken. That's a Dive Kick war thin. I think that's fair. Okay,
But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
that's it. We did get a tweet speaking on the concept of a boy and his blob from Selfish Pancakes, who thank you for watching. If you are ever watching live, you can always tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. He said a boy and his blob has a dedicated hug button. And he said that's also the one thing Titanfall needed was a dedicated hug button. So you hug the Titan.
Although I hugged a lot of robots with my robot, so
Yeah. Very, very different kind of hugging there.
yeah, just skate around the maps, punching everything I could punch. So
Yeah. It worked out. So I've been playing video games. I played a little bit more of Yoshi's Woolly World, which All right, listen. You can have your issues with it. Still love the game. There's like a secret or like a bonus level in each world. There are 6 worlds. And you can unlock the bonus level in each world by collecting all the flowers in each level of that world. So 8 levels, 5 flowers in each, 40 flowers to collect in each world. And then you unlock a special level which has no checkpoint and it's very, very hard. And they're all like a little bit trickier than like they're formatted differently. Like the one for World 2 was like it was like a series of puzzles where you had to like guide enemies like that all had different behaviors into hitting switches. It was super weird and very, very hard, but like it was interesting how it like played out and how each room was like this is a different enemy, it's a different puzzle. You have to like use your eggs or yarn balls and like set things up and use switches to kind of manipulate the enemies into hitting these other switches so that you can progress further into the level. It was really cool. I can't even remember off the top of my head what the third world one was, but I only have a couple of those left. And there's also like one main like in the hub area where you go to all the worlds, like where all the Yoshis hang out. There's also like a hidden level there for getting all the flowers from everything. So there's a lot of like extra shit in that game past just the 8 or the 6 worlds. So there's a lot to go back to. So I've been just kind of chipping away at that when I have time because that game makes me feel happy. I beat the Order 1886 as well.
I haven't played that yet.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you can beat it in like 2 hours.
I thought you talked about this last week.
No, I was playing it last week. I didn't finish it last week. I was at the part where I'd just gotten onto the airship, the Zeppelin, last week. So I had like 20 minutes left. Not really, but yeah, that game's okay. I really like some of the stuff that it seems like it wants to do. But like the game is such a weird situation of like, hey, we're gonna like introduce like a bunch of ideas, a bunch of concepts, and a bunch of gameplay systems, and then we'll never actually be able to realize their potential because this game is like 4 hours long.
That and it was marketed bad.
Yeah,
Everyone thought it was going to be like a werewolf hunting game. And
yeah.
apparently that's not what it turned out to be.
There's definitely an
Man,
aspect.
there's 2
of
werewolves in there.
that. Yeah, there's like 7. I think that you fight 7 werewolves total in that game.
Those don't count. You stand your back to the corner and you shoot them and then you run away.
Well, so they're like the regular werewolves and then they're elder wolves, half breeds. They're also like, is it a spoiler to say the other kind of stuff that's in that game?
No one gives a shit, man. Come on.
That's true. There's also vampires in that game, which like no one talks about. And like that's kind of like a twist. So like you're part of the Order, right? Which was originally the 13 Knights of the Round Table that became the Order that protects the world from half breeds. But like, and you throw around half breeds a lot as a term. You're like, oh, it's just werewolves, and like you see like lichens, and they call them lichens though they don't call them necessarily half breeds. You're like, oh, half breeds also encompasses these other mythological creatures like vampires and whatnot. So again, like they set up this very interesting kind of backdrop to this world, and like the East India Trading Company being like this kind of front for moving like shipping half breeds to other places of the world. I'm like, man, like, this could be really interesting. And like, they set up kind of like what this new America, like what this United States is like post Civil War in this world where like the timeline wise, it would be like right after the Civil War happened. But like Western expansion's already happened. Like California's already been established. It's like, so there's like interesting little bits of information that they kind of start alluding to, but then like, the game ends pretty abrupt. Well, not abruptly, but like it feels like it's kind of missing an act in the middle there. Like because there's a part where one of the characters dies. And like
spoilers.
Yeah, right. And like your character Galahad's like super upset about it, and it feels like there should have been like some kind of turmoil and development there. But no, it just kind of goes right to the next thing, and then you're kind of like on a crash course with the ending of the game.
Gotta hunt some werewolves and vampires.
You gotta hunt some werewolves.
Ain't got no time for mourning the loss.
Enjoy those collectibles.
No, I mean like the thing is, like I said, like some of the notes and whatever you can read, and it's like, oh,
sure,
this is about like America and stuff, but like the collectibles are like, look at this shit, like look at this fucking this just thing. It's like a fucking apple or like a knife and fork, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? What are you?
Oh my god!
And you get a trophy for it. Although there's a very easy platinum trophy. Like,
extremely easy.
You don't even have to play through it on like harder difficulty settings. You just have to like get all the collectibles and beat the game. Like that's
right. And it's not even really, you can't even consider it a time sink.
No.
What's a 4-hour game extended by 25%? 5 hours.
Yeah, like I could play through it one more time and probably about halfway, or I'd have to get all the collectibles. So I could just do another playthrough, like 4 to 6 hours, and then be done with it and have the platinum.
Yeah, I said like it's like what I said when I first beat that game. Like it's almost insane how it seemed like it went out of its way to be like a one and done type of game. Like more than like anything I've ever seen before.
It's so upsetting though, because like it has so much potential. Like it is very much, and I was tweeting about it when I finished it. Like it's very much like Assassin's Creed 1 or Watch Dogs. Of like, this is like a great foundation. Like you could build on this and make something really cool. Especially if they went more down the rabbit hole of like, hey, let's make really interesting weapons, and like let's like they allude to like there's another order out there, like another kind of people who use the Blackwater to extend their lives. Like let's play around with them and like maybe go to the Americas and stuff like that. They set up like this great world.
great characters. Galahad,
Galahad's like
Izzy,
awesome.
and Marquise are like fucking great characters. I like them a
Yeah,
lot.
and like that like last scene with Marquise and Galahad is like so good of like like they're looking out for each other, and yeah, it's really great. But like it just again, it's not long enough to realize any of that potential, and I don't know if there's going to be another one. I hope there is, but like at this point, I would say just judging by the reaction of it, it's unlikely. But yeah, like it's worth looking at. It's worth seeing, especially if you're into like that kind of narrative-driven third-person shooter. Which there aren't a lot of those really anymore. I mean, you got Gears of War. There was what's the one? Nabashin, the one in the desert.
Spec Ops.
Yeah. And like that's just like two that I can think of. Like
I feel like that game ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, it's true.
Because that game is just too good.
Yeah. But like, you don't see that a lot anymore. Like those, like they're just like this is a shooter, but is also like trying to tell a good story. Like you see plenty of first-person shooters because I guess there's something there that they can capitalize on, whether it's multiplayer or something. But something like simple and straightforward like The Order just doesn't happen that much. We got a tweet from our best friend Selfish Pancake saying The Order 1886 is basically just Ground Zeroes. If everyone thought Ground Zeroes was going to be a full game to begin with, they said, "Man, I wish that game was better." And it's also like the fastest.
Except for Ground Zeroes, for the most part, people consider a good game even for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is
The
also
Order, like nobody thinks that's a. I mean, at best, it's average.
yeah.
You know.
At best, like it's a I wish this was better game.
Yeah.
He also says it was like the fastest price drop he had seen. It was $20 on the PSN store, not on sale. Like before the end of the year.
Man,
So.
there was a game that was
That
on
was
sale.
$10.
Yeah, but that was when it was
Yeah.
cut in half. It was on sale at $10, and then it was regularly priced at like $20, I think. Go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say there's a game, I can't even remember what it was now, but there's a game that I think it came out last month and it was already on sale like $20 off. I wish I could remember what it was, but yeah, games. There's no point in buying a new, like a game as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, like that's it's always been a thing of like if you wanted to be in that conversation, that's kind of like the only reason to buy a game when it comes out. But like even now, there are ways you can get 20% off games, like day one, which there are multiple ways to do that now. So it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, like I said, like games are as cheaper as they're gonna be. Like, they're the cheapest that they ever been now. It's a matter of like just playing a certain game of like as far as like knowing when to wait, knowing your opportunities, and like keeping your eyes out for stuff like that. Because like fucking like what Titanfall was like $5 last year or something like that. Like that was like a year after that game came
and
out.
the season pass was free. It's perpetually free at this point, I think.
Yeah, I can tell like every time they do something like that when the population's rising, and you have like all the new people playing Titanfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting, like especially with these games that are multiplayer only. Like even when Evolve went like that down to $10 or $8 like a few weeks ago. So
Yes, you
like
find that pretty-
I guess Rainbow Six Siege will be like the next one. It'll be like maybe
That was it.
cheap. In, like,
That was it. That
4
was the
months.
game that
Rainbow
I
Six?
saw. Yeah, it was like $20 off already, and I'm like, Jesus, that game just came out.
Yep.
That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that, and it's gonna like there are plenty of games I could like look at that are coming out this year, and I could be like, yeah, that's probably gonna be pretty cheap a couple weeks after it comes out. But I don't know. You're right. Like games are cheaper now than they have ever been, and probably will ever be. So, like digital games are now more expensive, but I guess like that's the only thing. But then they're on sale constantly. It seems like.
Yeah, those flash sales, man.
Which is good. Like that competition's out there, and like both Xbox One and PS4 stepped up as far as like
Yeah, it's only Nintendo, man.
it's
Fuck.
it's only
Like I want to get Star Fox. I wanted to get Star Fox. That game's still fucking $40. You
Yeah.
can't get that on cheap for nothing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Star Fox 64 for people.
Yeah. not the new, not Star Fox Zero, which is out in April. I beat Final Fantasy VII as well, which I went through and I kind of did.
Welcome to the 21st century.
I know, right? I've beaten it before,
Oh,
but it's been about 20 years, I'd say, or like 18 years.
still
maybe.
bad.
Still love it. Still great. Still great. I mean, yeah, I tweeted out like I finished it, and I think it's a wonderful game. I really love it. I love the way that game ends too. And I just got a couple of people just tweeted me. Like John Aaron just tweeted me, "Lol," and I'm like, "Thanks, John." Yeah, I really like that game. It's so weird, and I'm working on like just an idea, kind of going off of this, of just like it is weird seeing kind of like the stuff that game does, in 2016. Like just seeing, like you start the game as a terrorist. Like, they kind of don't really make any bones about it. Like, you are committing acts of terrorism, you are bombing public places. Like, it is like, that is a thing that I just don't think would fly in a westernized game today. Right? Or at least not a quirky Japanese RPG like Final Fantasy. Like, I feel like that just wouldn't play well to an American audience. And yeah, like, there's like the cross-dressing scene that a lot of people know. And a few other things that happen kind of later in that game. Like there's like one thing, like as an adult, I'm sitting here watching, I'm like, are they saying like these two had sex? Like, is this like a thing that they're implying? And it totally is. Like, looking on, seeing some interviews of just like, yeah, this is what we kind of thought about this scene. I'm like, wow, I like, stuff I didn't really pick up on before. Or like, I don't think you would.
How old were you when this game came out?
I was 97, so I was 4 years old. And I played it a few years later with my mom,
Holy shit.
which I wrote about that experience on pixelkin.org that you can read
That's
about.
right, you did.
And she was kind of my buffer, like my censor for that
I
game.
was 18 years old when this game came out.
That's just a couple years.
I bought the Japanese version. I timed it. Actually, it came in at just the right moment. But I remember getting the Japanese version and having it came in on the first day of my like 7-week vacation I took. So that's all I did for. Did I say 7 weeks? 7 days. 7-day vacation. And played that for an entire week. And I think it was one of those games where when you play it so much, the timer just stops counting.
Yeah.
Like so it doesn't roll over or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I maxed out the timer on that, and then when the US version came out, like I don't know, it was about a year later, I think. Pretty much did the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think I had over like 200 hours combined on that game.
So do you like enjoy that game at all?
So I'm one of those guys that it was like my favorite game of ever, all time. It was the best game that could possibly ever be created out of all of video game hood.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games that I feel like a lot of people, it's their favorite game, but it hit at the right time in their lives, both as a way to experience Japanese role-playing games, and then as well as like the PlayStation becoming, like an important console in people's lives.
Yeah.
So I think the majority of people that love it tend to look at it through
Rose tinted glasses.
Yes, and I was the same way. But the more I look at it now, I'm like, there's a lot of bad stuff about this game, and honestly, it looks horrible because it comes from the worst generation of graphics, which of course, and we loved it, right? Like everyone was
Yeah.
mind blowing. But it's not my favorite Final Fantasy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I totally
Now.
I totally get a lot of the criticisms for it too, and it is a game like that. I really just enjoy the systems of that game, and like it's funny because I'm really excited for you to play the remake now, Mission. And again, I've been thinking about a lot like how they're gonna adapt it, but I think like that story, like the core to that story of like what Cloud goes through and kind of like what that group of people goes through, if they develop the characters a little bit more in a remake, which I think they would do just with more dialogue in general, Like I think a lot of people would really dig that story, and I feel like most people don't actually really know what the story of 7 is, and like kind of the places it goes.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't played that game, you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea.
Even if you played it, you might not have any
Yeah,
idea.
it's true. Like it's, and this is why I think like Nobish and you like it because it is very convoluted in a Kingdom Hearts like way, because like
Yeah.
Nomura is like all over that game.
Yeah, duh.
So like if you like Kingdom Hearts, I feel like you would like Final Fantasy VII. And like I think that's why there are so many Final Fantasy VII characters in Kingdom Hearts. Like just they're like a very deeply related series to one another. I mean, yeah, I really like it. I haven't actually like finished that game since that first time, or like I think it was like the second time I finished it a long time ago. So it was cool seeing the ending and like earning that and fighting the final boss and like just seeing how great some of the moments
That
at the end
Music
of the game
is
are.
still probably some of the best music ever, and especially that final fight with Sephiroth.
Yeah,
I mean, that soundtrack is just amazing. I still have a Japanese version of it.
yeah. It's really spectacular. And like the stuff like there's a lot of great music. Like Tifa's theme is great. Aerith's theme is great. The Genova music is awesome. And yeah, like the One Winged Angel song that everybody knows is spectacular. And there's like a Sephiroth fight, Bizarro Sephiroth fight before that has also really really great music. And like there's just that game's ending is so cool. Like you arrange your characters into different teams, right? And you can equip them. And like when you're fighting the final boss, it's like anytime you beat a portion of it, it's like okay, you can switch out to a different team to give these people time to rest, and their HP and MP will slowly go up when they're like resting. So you can swap between like all 8 of your party members. It's a well done fight. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that game did that was ahead of its time mechanically. It's just so sad to see it like visually and conceptually. It's like so far behind what like
They don't even have
later
mouths.
generation PS1 games did. Yeah, no one had mouths, or if they did, they were just like little lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool finishing that game. It put me in a Final Fantasy mood, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give Final Fantasy VIII a try. Let's do this. And wow, like that is a game again. Like I actually I don't know anything about Final Fantasy VIII. Like you hear so much about it, but like I know nothing about it. Like I don't know what happens in the story. I don't even know who most of the characters' names is. Quistis and Cypher and Squall. Like that's literally it. That's all I know.
The only important one's the last one.
Yeah, Squall's pretty important, but like, there's like a love interest character to his. You see her in all like the opening cutscene and shit. I'm like, I have no idea what her name is. Like, I don't even know who she is. Yeah, so like that game is also weird. I'm sure people have already like they're probably familiar with like the junctioning system, but like that works like you junction like monsters, right? You like equip like Pokemon pretty much, and like they get experience and like let you gain new abilities. But like there's no magic in that game. You cast magic by stealing it from enemies, which is just it's the weirdest thing. Like you can draw from enemies and you just take like you got 5 Firagas. It's like okay, so you now have 5 instances of the spell Firaga that you can use. It's like that's how the game works. Like that's the whole thing.
Yep.
And then you like junction that into your stats to make your strength or your magic defense, or like your attack can be Firaga related, and like it'll be a fire-based attack. And there's like a timing component. Like if you hit R1 at the right time when you attack an enemy, you do extra damage.
Yep.
It is like the weirdest fucking video game. Like especially like coming off of 7 and like knowing a lot of the other stuff in that series. Like it is unlike anything else. So like I gave it a shot. I played like the first couple hours today. I've never really attempted to play Final Fantasy VIII. Like I've never actually given it an honest shot. I don't know if I will, just because like I don't know if I like the system, the junctioning system, like drawing magic. But we'll see. We'll see where I go with it. But that's all I've been playing.
Where were
Very-
you? 99.99.
I would what 99.99?
That's the day the game came out.
Oh really?
I was
Same
working at a
basic
video
game
game
test.
store.
So it was 2 years after 7.
Yeah, 99.99.
When did Final Fantasy 9 come out? Because that had to be like the year 2000. In the year 2000. Yeah, November 13th, 2000. So like, right when the PS2 was coming. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I do want to play Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9 because like I've heard so many good things about them. Especially
so many good things about Final Fantasy 6 too. You still haven't played that.
yeah, I know. I'm just like I Popeyed my way through Final Fantasy 7, so like I'm in the mood.
Well, you
for
have
it.
history with that, so
Yeah,
there's a lot of things you forget if you have history with it.
yeah, but like I'm in the mood for that like that PS1 aesthetic, right? Like I'm in it. I'm in
Said
it.
no one
Right,
ever.
when,
Metal Gear.
Said no one ever.
Let's
I
face
should,
it.
yeah, I should play Metal Gear as well. That nice little blocky.
You haven't played that one, right?
No, I mean
No.
I know you played Twin Snakes, but I don't know.
I've played a good chunk of it. I've not finished it. No.
That still holds up.
Yeah,
That
no.
and the original Resident Evil.
Yeah, the original Resident Evil. With the little bit I played of that is fun. I've also been thinking about playing that, but I just get like the PS4 remaster. So
Sure.
because-
You'll miss like half the like the.
is the dialogue really worth it though?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. It makes the game for me.
Okay.
It makes you forgive a lot of stuff about that first game. I mean, like this, like the remaster is fucking phenomenal. But I'm just saying, like,
Do you think
that
so? Like,
original one is
do
really
you
good.
think my first playthrough of Resident Evil 1 should be that original PS1 version?
100% before you
Never
even
experienced
touched it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because
I'm
I
already ruined. The only thing I've ever seen of Resident Evil 1 has been the remaster. I think I got halfway through that game.
I played the opening 2 hours of that for your reference, Michael, like for Halloween a couple of years ago on stream, and I enjoyed what I saw. I was picking up what was put down. All right, that's it for video games. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we just have a little bit left. We'll figure out what's going on, and then we'll close out the show. So we'll be back in just a little bit.
Choo choo choo.
So you can go stretch your legs, get a glass of water if you need to,
Yep,
Michael.
doing that.
This is a real break. We keep recording. We just let it keep going, and I'll let you know when we bring it back. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get.
Wait, how are you gonna let me know if I'm not here?
Well, we wait for you. I'll just
I'll be right
send you
back.
an angry text message.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody watching the video version. We appreciate your viewership.
That was kind of a. Was that your sexy voice?
No, was that sexy for you? Did you?
That was
enjoy
kind
it?
of the late night radio
Thanks for tuning
thanks
in.
for tuning in to
Irrational
midnight.
Passions podcast. A lot of people on the internet hate Final Fantasy VII just because of how vocal the people who like it are. That's fair. Even if they haven't played it, and a lot of people never will because of Final Fantasy VII fans, which sucks. All you need
I
to know
mean,
about
I think that people, if you love Japanese RPGs, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't play it. I think it looks like garbage, but that's just because it comes from that time.
Yeah, it's that era.
Final Fantasy VIII, I hated that game because of everything you mentioned. And it's weird too because that you haven't played Final Fantasy VI. I that kind of blows my mind.
I've played it. Like I just when I did play it, I was in kind of a rut. I
Okay.
couldn't get into it. But it is one of those things. Like I'd like to play. I've played 4. I've gotten halfway.
So 4
through
is actually my favorite of
yeah.
them
4
all.
is 4 is really great.
I always flip flop actually between 4 and 6, but I think it's more or less because everyone loves 6 so much that I kind of like go along with it. But I think at the end of the day, I feel like 4 had a much bigger impact on me, gaming wise, and so that's why I tend to lean towards that.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Like 4 is really cool. I wish I had finished that game because I had the DS remake that I was playing, but it was my brother's copy. He just took it back before I had finished it. So, one selfish pancakes also says if Capcom wasn't so embarrassed by the dialogue of RE1, remasters shouldn't have had an option. Should have had an option for keeping the awful amazing voices. That's good. Awful amazing. I like that. Is everybody back?
Yes.
Present.
Scott?
Nope.
One down. I also never hear anyone ever talk about any Final Fantasy other than 7, sometimes 10, but that's mainly just due to the remasters. Barrett also tweeted me saying Final Fantasy 4 is dope. Final Fantasy 4 is dope. That's a fair assessment.
I mean, I love it. The just everything about it. Like you can see, especially with Final Fantasy 14, you can see where like a lot of the inspiration, the classic inspiration of Final Fantasy comes from. Like I play a dragoon in Final Fantasy 14, so he looks just like Kain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love 6, but something about 4 just really always kind of stood out to me and I think that was one of like 2 Super Nintendo games I owned forever.
Yeah.
You could probably guess what the other one is.
Yeah. I mean, Street Fighter 2 is probably pretty good. Was it the Turbo or Mega
No,
Neo
actually,
Turbo? Just the original?
I owned just like original Street Fighter 2 forever. And I think after that, I ended up finally buying Super Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. I still have my Link to the Past and Super Metroid cartridges. I don't have an SNES anymore because I have no idea where it went.
I have one, but I can't find I don't think it had I had one of those like 2nd generation ones, the re-release whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't have a what do you call it? A power supply for it. So
You can probably get one of those online though.
I know I just never bothered looking. I have a copy of Ogre Battle, which is actually one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So
I was too young to understand what was going on in that game, but I dug.
that game.
I dug what
I
was going
loved
on.
it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Did you ever play Tactics Ogre on 64?
You mean
Is that what it was called?
Ogre Battle 64?
What was it? There was an Ogre Battle 64, right?
Yes. There was an Ogre Battle. I played it a little bit, but I was very anti Nintendo 64 at that point.
Fair.
It's kind of a jerk, but
Yeah. Okay. I mean, honest though.
So I didn't play a lot of that. I have played Tactics Ogre, which is really fucking hard. Not the, I mean I have the most recent. I guess it was I guess it came out on PSP, didn't it?
PSP. Yeah.
The Let Us Cling Together, which is probably the best like video game title ever. But like the original Tactics Ogre was so fucking hard, incredibly hard, and
Yeah.
I've never gotten very far in it. Actually, I have a PS TV, so I was thinking about loading up Tactics Ogre now that I'm done with Titanfall and playing that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about streaming it too, but I need to get like a splitter for it, I think, in order
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if there's HDCP on the Vita TV.
The TV, I don't think. I remember reading you need a splitter for it, so
Okay.
you must.
I have a splitter for
Yeah,
everything, so
yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, there must be some encryption, whether it's HD, CP, or whatever.
Selfish Pancake says Michael does what Nintendo don't.
That's right.
It is pretty good.
I had a pretty strong dislike for the Nintendo 64 at the time. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's a trash system.
A lot of people hate it. I mean, I have nothing but kind of good memories with it.
That's because you're a kid.
I was a kid. All right, when it came out in 1995, right?
18. Yeah, I was 18 years old.
I was 2.
So
When I was like getting into video games, though, like in '97, like in that era, I went and played SNES, and I kind of played those N64
Yeah.
games towards the end of that era.
yeah.
So, like, and then I later went back and played NES games. So,
I actually missed out on a lot of like PlayStation 2, Xbox games because at that point I was playing a lot of PC related stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of bypassed that whole era.
Yeah.
That's why I went back like before the PlayStation 4 came out, I went back and played like all the God of War games and stuff like that because I'd never played any of them.
Yeah, it's definitely like the PS2 era and the GameCube, like that was like the one that I was like in when it was happening. But yeah, I was also playing catch up on a lot of older games that I like hadn't gotten to because like in 2000 when the PS2 was coming out, and I never had a Dreamcast, so I didn't actually get to play around with any of that stuff. But like Majora's Mask was coming out and like Banjo-Tooie, there were like stuff that I still wanted to play. On those older systems. So, Scott, are you back by chance? Wow, what is he doing?
Probably dead.
Scott's probably dead.
He froze to death.
Yeah, I did look out. I have to shovel the deck after I'm done here, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad we live in an area where we don't get much snow.
Yeah.
Shoveling anything sounds like shit to me.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks.
Unless it's shovel night.
Speaking of Shovel Knight, Alex.
Yeah.
Game
Oh, I
Grumps are
know.
doing co-op.
I know.
man.
I don't know if I've ever been as excited as I was.
Oh,
when I
it was
watching
it was
it.
great.
I was giddy watching it.
Yep.
I haven't even played Shovel Knight since the Amiibos came out. I need to do that.
Playing
yeah,
Knight's pretty cool.
Yeah, Plague Knight's cool.
Yeah, that too. I haven't played that.
The co-op stuff actually seems really awesome.
Did
Yeah.
Scott drop that?
What?
I
Plague
don't
Knight.
know. That's a
He
good
doesn't talk
question.
about it. I just thought about that.
Hey, probably
probably-
forgot.
Yeah, he probably dropped off of it because he was playing some other stuff. So
Ain't no tabletop.
ain't no tabletop apparently. Where is Scott? Are you dead somewhere?
Only problem with tabletop is there's not enough two-player games. That's just board games in general, though. So
Yeah, that's problem of the medium.
We've been trying to get Avalon happening for the longest time, but like it's just been hard to get like up to 5 people. We got like the 3 of us, me, Mark, and Katie, but like getting like 2 more at least that's just been the struggle.
Oh, we got a Bayazona Gamers and Now That's Gaming commenting on the YouTube video saying hello.
hi.
Now That's Gaming says Evolve was a great game. I like the was right there. It's very indicative of what was.
Evolve and Titanfall are very similar because they had that that they were very like very much loved as like in trade shows and whatnot. But yeah, once they both came out, and to be fair, it probably had a lot to do with the fact that there was no single player content really.
Yeah.
But they just fell flat, uh, which is kind of too
Are you
bad.
back finally?
Hey, welcome back, Scott. Yeah, no, I
think it's
agree.
I think it's more of because it costs $60. People are expecting like a $60
Well, yeah.
content worth. When a game normally like a Call of Duty or something like that, they have their substantial quote unquote single player with like up to a $60 amount of multiplayer, and with like Titanfall and Evolve, I guess people don't feel like they're getting that other half, or at least getting more for what they took out from single player. They should at least get more for that as far as modes and like maps as far as multiplayer. At least that's what I think that's the main complaint about it is.
What? And I really want to talk to Respawn because I feel like they hoped that it would be more of an esport type game, but they didn't develop it that way. And when they wanted to make it more esports, it was too late.
We need more esports. Sell it.
And Evolve 2K they wanted that to be esports, so they had
totally.
more of a model for it, but I think it just didn't. It just wasn't there. And they still do like tournaments and stuff.
I think they scared off the people too quickly because they were trying to make it so esports before it was even a thing. And,
It could be, yeah.
And plus the whole DLC debacle that they had.
Yeah,
so.
You
Too
can't
much
tell people
esports.
you can't tell people like how to spend their money. And I think when they split everything up like they did, and everything was, like, if you didn't buy the season pass, then this and that, whatever, it just, people will, it's weird because, like, in some ways people will vote with their wallet if they feel like they're being told how to purchase something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Apparently, the Vita TV does have HDCP.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, that's why we had to use the splitter, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to establish that. All right, Scott, you good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Michael, I'm going to play this little sound clip. Since you never listened to this show before, you can have a good time with this. And then
You're in for a treat.
We'll talk about news after that. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news. We do have the newsman here, Michael. You are the news. You've become
He
news.
embodies the news.
Yes. I create the news that happens in video games.
Yeah, Michael has
There's
become
not-
news, destroyer of worlds.
I am news. I am the living embodiment. I am the avatar of news. I'm like
You're the last
Gozer.
news bender.
Yes. Yes, that's a good one. Not
So we didn't have any news, but Namsha, you did add the NX
I
document
remember
leak.
that was a thing. Yeah.
Yes, that was a thing. There's also rumors that Nintendo is going to announce a new first-party title on Monday.
That's pretty hype.
And there's also rumors that it's going to be a console, or a Wii U Paper Mario game, which has me very excited. But right now, that's just a rumor.
The
Whatever, man, you got
10,000 year
Paper Jam.
door.
Yeah, apparently Paper Jam sucks.
That's what I heard.
Brant is playing it, and I said I need your full opinion very soon because I need to know if I should get this game. And he said he'll let me know, so we'll see about that. But yeah, so NX had some leaks. I guess this came off of did this come off of like a survey?
Yes.
Yeah, there was some survey that I guess some people took, and it just had like a list of bullet points, like of what the NX would entail, and I will read those bullet points to you. Exclusive game franchises featuring Mario, Zelda, and Donkey
It's
Kong.
Linkle.
It's Linkle. Pardon me. The Donkey Kong, the Yonky Dong, and more. Connect with other Nintendo players around the world via the Nintendo Network, which has just been a foolproof thing as is. gameplay flows between NX console and Nintendo NX handheld device, whatever that means. Maybe that hybrid thing that we've been talking about, maybe not. Earn and share gaming achievements, triumphs, and defeats with your gaming friends and Nintendo gaming community. Surf the web or make video calls on your TV. Support 4K/60 FPS streaming. Gameplay graphics 980p/60 FPS.
980p.
Yeah, which is weird. That is like very specifically 980p. I mean, I guess if they're doing like higher quality, like higher rendered games, like more graphics with like 3x's, 980p seems reasonable to shoot for, because God knows these consoles will never run it at 1080p 60 FPS. But
The Wii is 1080p 60.
yeah, exactly. It's like the Wii is 1080p 60 FPS. I guess like that would be my one thing. I guess like they would be shooting for something that looks a lot better than that.
Some people say this is pretty much if this is true, then this is probably for the handheld actually, instead of like the actual console.
That would make sense.
That would make more sense because like the Wii U Game Pass, isn't that like 480p?
I think it's like 520. It's some weird number. Between it's not quite HD, but it's more than like SD, like 480 or something like that. In like the target hardware would just you get the NX and HDMI cable, and it's saying here that it might be HDMI 2.0, which is significant because AMD doesn't make GPUs that support HDMI 2.0, which means like they'd have to get different hardware. It would no mention of any optical or Blu-ray support as well. So this is pretty much what we're working with now. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? No, not all at once, please.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know. If people expect something to release this year, and I'm just like, I don't see it.
I could see it. Like my only thing with expecting that, like again, I'm not necessarily. I would say I'm not expecting it, but I think it's definitely possible. It's just that if this console is supposed to be the successor to the Wii U, and it comes out next year would be too late, in my opinion. This year is also too late, but it would be less too late.
Why too late?
Like, I worry about another Wii U situation happening. And I think that's something that they want to avoid as well.
As far as
like releasing kind of like too late in the console cycle and before like the other consoles are announced and released. I guess like, it's
Dreamcast, basically.
Yeah, like Dreamcast, but I guess like the NX would be then more along the lines of Dreamcast and less like the Wii U.
I mean, I don't know. They're in such a weird like situation because I think that they've already lost.
The console war, if I may.
Well, not so much that. It's just that they've lost a lot of fans or consumers, and I don't know what they can do to get them back.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
And I mean, great, they're coming out with a new system. If it's going to be a handheld and a console that's going to be like $600 or whatever, then how's that going to work out? So I don't know. It's really so hard to speculate on any of it at this point.
Mm-hmm. It's like they're really good at keeping secrets close to the chest too.
I feel like they need to. I know that traditionally that's how they are, but I feel like, especially maybe at E3, they really just kind of need to lay it all on the table too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they need to tell people what this thing is and why you'd want it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've been kind of bad at that in the recent history.
Since the N64.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a lot of reasons why they've had issues since the Super Nintendo days, or after the Super Nintendo days, but I just think in recent history, it's like, why do I need a Wii U? Like, and so, I mean, they just need to be, I feel like they just really need to be on point. Yeah, on point with being forthright and like why you'd want this thing, not even why you need it. Why you'd want this thing over a PlayStation 4, which is still selling like gangbusters. And everyone bitches about exclusives on there, but they're still selling.
Yeah, still
Oh.
sold best in November. You know,
Yeah.
when like that was supposed to matter, but yeah, I mean Barrett also tweeted at us and he asked how we feel about the NX quote unquote console releasing after the quote unquote handheld version of it. Which I mean, like I feel like it makes more sense, especially for this system, to release this as a follow up to the 3DS, which is like prime and ready for a successor. I think if they're going to continue to dominate the handheld market, it makes sense to put out a new handheld soon.
God, how old is the 3DS?
Came out what, like 2010? Yeah, 2011.
I was at MGC when that came out, so that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like an eternity. I remember we did videos of like the launch of 2011, March 2011. We did videos of it at launch. It was kind of like after IP had started. So, yeah, I like that. 3DS is done like so well. It's sold incredibly well. It's a great system. It has great games on it, and I think like it doesn't like the nice thing about it is like I don't feel like there needs to be a new handheld, but I'd love to see what they would do with one. 5 years later. But I don't like. It makes more sense that this comes out and they're like, yeah, this is a follow. This is a new handheld. This is a follow up to it, but it does HD graphics. It does HD games. It does the quality that you're expecting to see from a console when it's on the go. And if they released like the console port or whatever you use to play those NX games on your TV at home a little bit later, and maybe it's a little bit more than we expect, they could. I think they could pull that off, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting that like people have been, as far as like the conversation about Nintendo, it has been just like, oh, the Wii U successor, but it's like, what about the 3DS? 3DS is like way super old right now, and like even the new 3DS, like there's literally only 2 games that are even like new 3DS exclusives, which is Binding of Isaac and Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
So it was like it seems like I don't know why everybody was just skipping the 3DS as far as like, cause like if you go by like the quote unquote Nintendo's timeline, you would think that the handheld would be next as far as like the new thing that we
Right.
talk about.
I was surprised when everybody from what you guys are saying, everybody was like, next console. I'm like, handheld?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, it generally seems to like. I feel like I think they've referred to the NX as like a console, a home console, at some point. But yeah, I mean, like the theory is like the working theory is it's both, but we'll see. It does make sense to release a new handheld.
I mean, if it's both, then I think I'm set.
Yeah, like I think that's like the solution to this problem.
I mean, cause like the thing about
I'm
like
just talking about me.
Well, yeah, and Scott said,
yeah, I mean, this thing about it, like they announced their like this E3, they'll say the handheld comes out this year, and it'll probably be like what, maybe $200 or whatever. I'm just saying, spitballing whatever. And then like the next year, they'll actually have the console addition to it, which will make that console even cheaper if you have like the handheld already that you bought a year ago. So like it'll be like, it wouldn't be so bad to have something like that's $200 and then $200 now, because like it's like kind of like a subsidiary or something like that. So.
yeah, it's you're paying basically the same total amount, but you're getting like things across multiple years, and hopefully it'll last a little bit longer that way, and you have something to play in the meantime for less. Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I just like, if it is the hybrid thing, if like one comes out years between like the other, or at least a year, then like what does that look like? How does that work? Like I worry about like a PSP, PS3 situation or a PS3 Vita or PS4 Vita thing, like they were always just a little bit too far apart from one another for them to work as seamlessly together as people wanted.
Like every handheld with Nintendo's console.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, was it the Wii where you could download DS demos on the Wii and play them on the DS? Like,
Yeah.
like that was like such a weird thing
That nobody really did.
that nobody did. Absolutely no one did. And like that connection functionality stuff is so weird, and yeah, it's just like the PSP never really worked with the PS3, and then the Vita was kind of beyond the PS3's scope, and then the PS4 came out, and it works with the Vita, and I think that's like the best you could hope for. It's like you could just play PS4 games on the Vita screen over your network, but like even that's not like perfect. So I don't know. It's weird. Like they have to be close together. People have to know that they're synonymous with one another, right? They're partners if they're going to go like the full hybrid route. And if someone only has one and not the other, and they have to pay for both, assumedly, like they both have to work independently as well. So,
All right, so like since we're somewhat in this prediction thing that we started last week and we're starting again this week, I think we just need to talk about the NX and like kind of what we want out of it and like like what we should expect from it. Like in general,
I want, like I honestly like talking about it now. Like I kind of want like a new handheld that is good enough to be a console, right? Like I want that hybrid. Like the hybrid is the dream. Like even if it's just a handheld with an HDMI out, right? And then I could play it with a controller, like use a Pro controller or something with it. That's what I would want. But I want something like I don't want a DS anymore. I don't want dual screens anymore. I want like a Game Boy. Like I want something that is like got one screen, maybe a touchscreen. Like it is also a touchscreen. Like I want the Vita, the Nintendo Vita. Like in a lot of ways. Which like I feel like that's not weird. I think that's not off base. Like I want them to do that, to take like the Game Boy Advance form factor, which like the Vita is like kind of a lot like that, and just roll with it. Make something cool. I'm curious.
What do you think as far as like power though? Like people are like, oh, it's going to have like state-of-the-art power or whatever. Do you even think Nintendo even needs to do something like that? Like
no, I mean like I think you can find a middle ground with a handheld, and third parties will support it because third parties always do fine on like Nintendo handhelds because they're like the only handheld that really matters. Which I don't mean to dismiss the Vita. It's just like there's no competition there. Like the 3DS has what like 60 million units out there, and the Vita has like 20. Like that's. They're not in the same league, and it's just like publishers can make games for 3DS and have them sell reasonably well, like they do. Sure, what you mostly see is Nintendo stuff. Definitely now that we're kind of like towards the end of 3DS. But like yeah, if you could make HD graphics on a 3DS, I think people would be more keen to do it because it'd be easier to do stuff like that.
So you predict that they'll still bring out the like we have all these third parties like spiel at their E3.
I don't think they have to with a 3DS, like with like a handheld. Like I feel like that's just a shoo-in.
If that thing is going to release as some form of accessory or partnership with a console, they absolutely have to have third-party support, and they absolutely have to convince everyone that they will have it, because everyone knows that since the Nintendo 64 days, they haven't had it.
Yeah, like I think to your point earlier, Michael, like if this is going to be their console, right, and like they can't make any bones about it. They have to be very explicit with like, okay, we're releasing this handheld, but there will also be this console. They need to explain it in a way that makes sense. They can't just say it's called the Wii U, show a picture of a gamepad, and confuse a whole bunch of people like they did with that. Like there's still people asking questions about like, is that like just a companion to the Wii? So like they need to be explicit, clear, and like if they are going the console route with this, if this is not just a handheld, then they need that. They need to lay out that third party support.
So are you thinking like a game like Shadow of Mordor 2 will run on the next Nintendo console?
At this point, I think it's going to have to.
It should be possible. I don't think it will necessarily happen, but I think it should be possible. I think that the potential needs to be there. Like I can't see it happen is the thing. Like you say that, it sounds like a fucking like weird parallel universe where like that's reality. Because it's just so not where they've been for the past like years, like decades.
Gotta get that Madden back.
Yeah, I mean like the Wii turns 10 in November of this year, right? And like since then, like they've been in like their own pocket world, right? When they left the GameCube behind and introduced the Wii and like changed the game, I guess, and like introduced all these people to video games and stuff, like it's been different for them. And now like moving forward, they have new new director, and they have like this partnership with DNA. Like we haven't even talked about like the mobile stuff. Like the DNA owns a huge part of Nintendo now. So, like that has to be a major focus for them as well. Like they have to be making mobile stuff, and they have to be putting a lot of money into it.
Well, that's kind of the other reason why I wonder why you want to make a handheld when you're getting into mobile, because everyone's playing mobile in Japan. Like all of the huge games are on mobile, and I don't know. It's just I just part of me in this conversation even wonders, do they pretty much take like a Western approach to this whole thing?
Do the Sony route?
Yeah. It's like how do they even approach all of this? Because things have changed in Japan so much, and Nintendo still continues to march to its own beat, which is fine. I kind of commend them for that, but at the same time, everything's changed so much because of different technologies and whatnot, and mobile is huge in Japan. I mean, I can't tell you how many people, when I was there for 5 days, were playing on their phones. It's funny because like a game nobody's heard of outside of Japan probably had the biggest marketing budget at Tokyo Game Show. They had the biggest area in the booth, or the trade show floor. They had posters like in the subways. I mean, the people were everywhere for this game. What was it called? Grand Blue Fantasy or something like that. And it's a mobile game, and apparently it must be doing gangbusters.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like Nintendo and DNA like is clearly like a smart move to get their own territory, like to be in Japan and be like strong in Japan. I don't know. Like it is like a thing of like, if Nintendo was just going to go the Western approach and like kind of break their own tradition, like they're so rooted in their tradition. Like that's the only reason that they would make another console though, is tradition, not really like any financial gain to it, because I can't see it doing like gangbusters, not doing PS4 numbers at least. So like why not just go third party, right?
Yeah.
Just be a software developer. Like, and that seems crazy to some people, but like it makes so much sense. They could make so much money. It
happened to Sega.
Yeah, it happened to Sega. Like, and that's not like throwing in the towel. It's not losing. It's just like they've always been their own thing.
Yeah.
And like they could just make so much money. Like I want them to succeed because I love their games. But like they don't have to be on their own consoles anymore. Which is weird to think. Like there wouldn't be Nintendo consoles anymore, but they just like there doesn't have to be. Like there doesn't have to be any consoles anymore. There just needs to be kind of like one box that you can play your stuff on, really. So I don't know. Namishin, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I'm just kind of want to like keep throwing out different things and just like hearing your guys'
What do you
thoughts
like?
about
What
it.
do you think? What do you want? I should say.
What do I want?
From Nintendo, like what do you want them to do with this?
I want them to stay the way they are, and not like it's some like fucking nostalgia, like like Nintendo used to be great for what they used to be, and they've always been great at doing their own thing. I think they should just like do what they're doing more or less, but keep their expectations low. Just be something that's its own self, and don't be like something that competes. Don't even try to get third parties, because no one's gonna play fucking third parties on your damn system. Like this is just a fucking bad. It's just no one's gonna do that. So like, just make a box just for your exclusives for indie games and for anybody else who wants to throw their games on your system, and just make it price manageably. Like do something like an Atlas or like an NIS. Just make it so like you're not losing money on it, but like everything that's like successful on it is really successful. Like a game like Splatoon made like charted on NPDs, and like Smash Bros. Charts on NPDs, and like that's from a system that only has 10 million systems out there in the US at least, and like is like, for those games to be that successful, for just being by themselves on a system that's not this like a third of as many PS4s out there, just play to that strength then. Just do that. Don't
Play to
worry
your
about
audience.
anything. Yeah, that's 100% what they need to do. And like, I understand what people's like. I want Nintendo to go back to what they were. I want them to like come out with a controller that's not like gimmicky or something like that. Like, it's not going to be that. It's not like, no matter what you're thinking, NX is going to be. It's not going to be that. Like, you're always thinking to the stars with Nintendo. And it's like, they're their own thing, and they should play to their own strength. And playing to their own strength can make them the more money if they just manage it the right way. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could see. The thing is, like, it's hard to know what Nintendo is thinking about what they've done. Like, right, it's hard to know how they've taken the feedback on the NX, or on Wii U to heart until we see like what they're doing with the controller with NX, what they're doing with the console, like they're even doing just with the box and the design of it, and what they're calling it. Right, like, it's just like, you know, I'm not asking them to not be gimmicky, but like, don't call your fucking console the Wii U. Like, it was a terrible idea. It was the worst thing Nintendo has ever done. Like, you know, you look back and see, like, people were like, man, they're calling this new console the Wii, right? But, like, you know, their message of, like, we would like to play, you know, play with people, play together, it worked. And it made sense. And then calling the NX, or the next console, the Wii U, made no sense, did not work, it was terrible. Like, you know, I think it's like, where I'm at with it is just like, you know, approach this from the mindset of like, call this something that people can recognize and, you know, make a console. Like, do your gimmicks, do the things that you want to do that you think will encourage your teams to make creative experiences. Like, that absolutely is what I want. Whether that's a weird controller or support for like the gamepad going forward or whatever. But like,
I'm leaning toward the gimmick being hybrid.
yeah, I mean,
who else is going to be able to actually pull that off?
Yeah, like, or do the hybrid, like, make that your thing, but like, you know, at least make this something that stands on its own 2 feet. Like, unlike the Wii U, which literally had to live in the Wii's shadow for its entire existence. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I like, if they can find, if like you're saying, Namachi, if they can find the middle ground where they can sell a console enough to their audience and make a profit on it, like, that'd be perfect. Like, that way they can just have their exclusive platform where they can play by their own rules and hopefully make something really cool with it. Like have it work. Like, you know, we finally see Mario Maker at like, what, 3-4 years into the Wii U, and it's like, finally, like, man, this gamepad, like, this game wouldn't work without this. Like, I feel like it took them 3 years to get there, though. And I feel like if they have a better idea, like, right out of the gate, like, that could totally work.
And I think it's like stuff like I kind of lost it. It's like yeah, I lost it. Forget it. Never mind.
That's fine. Scott, Tony, do you guys have any things you want to share about it?
Not really. No.
Okay. I don't, like, Tony, are you dead? I think he left.
Yes.
He's all right.
He's gone.
Confirmed deceased.
Confirmed deceased. Well, it was good knowing him.
Yeah, like I said, like I feel like because you're thinking like, think of where Nintendo's at right now as far as like what they have as far as the system, and like how everything that what the Wii U is, like, this besides the fact that, like, you know, it's a terrible name and like it's confusing and whatever. Like, think of what they are as a system compared to like something like the PS4 and Xbox One right now. Like, online is a joke between the two. The store is a joke between those two. Like, their two systems don't communicate with each other whatsoever. Like, you have to like buy one on one system and then like get a code from that with the receipt to put into the other system. So it's like, I don't think they're gonna just fix that. Like, even though it's like, sure, you could say like, oh, Sony did it somewhat with the PS3 to the PS4, but like, I don't think it's still gonna be like something they could just like do like in the amount of years they do. Like, I know they got someone they could just copy their paper over right then and there, but I don't think Nintendo's able to do that. So like, I don't see like stuff like achievements or like an easy like party system, or like even voice chat might be there, but not like to the extent that people want it to be or something like that.
And like, I definitely think like that's reasonable. You hear like stories about like how in the behind the scenes, right, the PlayStation Network is like, on the server side, it's a goddamn disaster. It's like a wonder that it's not crumbling and on fire constantly. And you hear terrible nightmares about it, and like how they kind of force it to work for PS4. But like, and that's why I think to what Scott was saying, like the gimmick of having the consoles basically be related, brother and sister consoles in a way, like handheld and home console, could like if they're like built on the same architecture,
They're
work
halfway
together.
there. They're halfway there.
Like that could
They
just
are
work.
halfway there with the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just basically put hardware in the gamepad and like let that work. But yeah, if like they can make that work, then like stuff like buying something on one thing and it working on the other would just work, right? Because they're the same
It
thing.
would be it's the same console.
And it'd be like a cheat
it would
for them.
essentially be the same console.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be a cross-buy thing. You're buying it for that console. It's
Yeah.
just that console.
Yeah, it'd be a way to kind of like cheat their way through the brunt work of making a network where that's possible.
Mhm.
Like your ID would just work on both. The two would talk to each other because they're the same thing. So like that would be the way to make it work. That would be like a good compromise of like, you know, having a cool Nintendo experience that's unlike anything else, that hopefully isn't too gimmicky, that it turns away a lot of people, but also having something that is like consumer friendly and like you can buy virtual console games on one thing and actually play it on the go as well. Like it's still crazy that like there are virtual console games on 3DS and on Wii U, and you have to buy them twice in both places. Like it's just like you know, they don't have to compete, right? But they do have to make experiences that compare user friendliness wise to the other consoles. Like that just, if you can do something like buy Binding of Isaac and get it on Vita and PS4 over on Sony's side, like people are gonna expect like, hey, you know, like I already bought this. You know, there's a tone for the industry that they have to meet.
Yeah, and I remember the other thing I was gonna say, like and like so many people, like I don't know how many people I've heard. It was like, oh man, I want to play Bayonetta 2, I want to play Mario Maker, I want to play Mario Kart 8, I want to play Splatoon, but like I don't want to buy a Wii U. So like there's already a selling system. There's already a selling point for the NX if it has backwards compatibility.
Which it almost definitely will, I think.
Yeah, so like if you would have that and just guarantee that for your system, like I think that'll also like get those people who wanted the Wii U onto the new system, because you get that all the old games from the Wii U plus the new stuff that's coming out now. So I think, like I said, just play to your base and just make it like something that's easy to like get your message across, and don't make it too confusing for people, and just like make it cheap. And if you can do those two things, you're home free.
Yeah, play to your audience and like, you know, listen to them. What does your audience want? I think like we as part of that audience like have kind of spoken about some of the things we want, and I don't know, like we'll see. Nabishin, we just want to see if you had any other predictions or like most
That was my
anticipated.
major one. I didn't really have anything else.
Okay. Did you have any like most anticipated things you wanted to talk about? Since we talked about it last week without you.
I thought you held off her until this week.
I mean, most
No,
anticipated
no.
like video game stuff, like we've kind of already covered, but you weren't here last week, so at this point in the show, I was curious like what you were looking forward to the most, this year.
I really don't know. Like nothing really speaks to me right now. There's stuff like I'm always gonna get like Uncharted and shit like that, but like and like there's stuff like Mirror's Edge Catalyst is like that'll probably be a surprise to me. Like I'm gonna get it regardless, but it's like I'm hoping like it'll be like a nice surprise that it's actually good and decent.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you know, like other than like Persona 4, it's like
Persona 5.
Persona 5, sorry, Persona
Yeah.
5 and like Final Fantasy 15. It's like there's nothing really like that's coming out next year that I can really think of. That's like I'm chopping the bit to get.
Yeah. And it's Cuphead. The promise of Cuphead is real now.
Yeah.
So that'll finally come out. Yeah. Michael, what are you looking forward to in 2016?
The Capcom Pro Tour.
Yeah.
I mean, Evo. If I get a chance to go there, I will be thrilled. Again, if I get a good chance to go again. Capcom Cup this past Capcom Cup was probably the best Street Fighter 4 tournament there ever was.
It was really good.
So I'm really excited to see how the competition plays out with Street Fighter 5. I talk about this a lot with different players, but I think that the early in the year, assuming the season or the Pro Tour starts in February, Marchish, like it did last year, a final round in Atlanta is the first premier event, and I would not be surprised if there's a couple people I know that a couple American players I know that could potentially win it, and that would be the first time on the Pro Tour anyway in its existence in the last couple of years that an American player will win a premier and qualify for Capcom Cup. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all plays out with a new game that everyone is kind of sort of on. There's a little bit of controversy about accessibility, but everyone's on the same playing field. The game isn't coming out in Japan first. It's not coming out in Japanese arcades first, and so I feel like Asian players, top Asian players, are always going to be in the mix. But I feel like America, or at least the West, including like Europe, has a good chance to compete early on, and that's kind of different.
Yeah, when you were telling me about that stuff, like when we were talking at PSX, like that is actually really exciting. Like the like worldwide launch in February of just like everyone starts, everyone's like downloading it, like going to bat, like training, getting familiar with it, and learning the characters all at the same time, right? Like that is really cool.
Yeah. And I'm actually really interested. I tell people this a lot too. Like I'm really interested in Tekken 7 because I used to be a big time Tekken player in the arcades, like Tekken 3, and they're doing a similar thing like Capcom and Street Fighter 5. It's going to be more accessible to new players. And or for older players who kind of like fell away from it. So I'm actually really curious to see how well it does, and I'd like to play it and be pretty good at it, not necessarily expecting to compete, but I think it's been a while since I could say I was legitimately good at a fighting game. So that's actually something I'm really interested in.
Yeah. It seems like the two big fighting games, 3D and 2D.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really cool year for fighting games. King of Fighters, the new one's coming out. I'm not really sold on that.
Okay.
I'm all about that.
I can't believe they even showed that game off in the state that they did when they first showed it off. I just don't feel like that's the way you build up hype for a game. Whatever. But I think it's going to be a pretty good year for like fighting games and esports. So I'm curious to see how it grows. ESPN wants to get in on esports now, and I still don't think they'll highlight fighting games all that much. Maybe Evo for sure. I'm sure they'll have some coverage on Evo, but for the most part, I don't think they'll highlight fighting games all that much. So it'll be kind of business as usual.
Yeah, it's
but
funny.
Hey, if anybody at ESPN's listening and you need a Street Fighter writer,
we got an expert right here.
I'm available.
The best of the best, one might say.
That's right. The pinnacle of FGC journalism, as I have been called.
Oh wow, that's a good compliment. I like that.
Yeah.
Is that in your Twitter bio? Should be.
No, it's if you go to my my Twitter and it's in the pinned tweet. I put together a video of different people who have commented about the work that I've done or did in 2015, and so yeah, you should check that out.
Yeah, highly recommended.
One person called me the pinnacle of FGC journalism.
That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, I'm curious. I guess like you're more of just FGC, like fighting game stuff.
I don't really cover other esports related content, just because I don't have the time to get invested into knowing more about like MOBAs and League and Dota and or other man.
You're not getting like way into that Evolve esports scene.
I'm actually trying to. I'd like to pitch a story that kind of that does touch on that, but it's more of the idea of like games that try to make an impact in esports and don't.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Plenty of those to be had,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
yeah.
All right, I think that's gonna wrap us for news and
You-
predictions.
You want quick fire just the rest of these? Just like I'll just say just names of games as anyone want to talk about them. Just talk about them. Other than that, just like we'll just skip them.
Okay, we can stick with the main stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just quick fire.
Okay.
Mario,
2016 in video games. Let's look at it.
Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
I don't know where I'm at with that game. I was kind of like waiting for it to come out and for people to see what they had to say about it. And apparently, it's like the worst written of those games that has come out, which is really upsetting.
All right. Final Fantasy Explorers. The Witness.
Okay. Witness is $40, and apparently people are upset about that. Get over it.
It's like 100 hours long, so
Yeah,
so you
apparently.
can't argue the game length thing, so
Yeah.
whatever. This World Mine, The Little Ones, Gravity Rush Remastered, the only remastered I care about this year other than Odin Sphere, so
That's the second, right?
that's the first.
Okay.
Gravity Rush Remastered, then Gravity Rush 2 is later on.
Okay.
XCOM 2.
Very excited.
Dying Light the following.
Yeah, I have that expansion, so because I had the season pass, so I will play that at some point.
Firewatch.
Mhm.
Mighty Number 9.
Do you think that that's gonna come out on the 9th? Like that'll?
I mean, I
actually
think it's
hit?
gonna. I think it's gonna come out. I don't know how I'll feel about it. Like I literally don't know how that game even like plays or even really looks like. I mean, I know it plays like a fucking Mega Man game, but like I know it's like different too with combos and stuff. But they ain't keeping up the combo, so that seems like a little iffy because I don't know if I want to play it that way. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
February 9th is busy.
Unraveled.
Yeah.
Valkyria
adorable.
Chronicles. Okay, that's the other remastered actually.
Oh
So
yeah, that's coming out. I didn't know that had a date already.
that probably is for Japan. I would assume.
Yeah, it doesn't have a U.S. date yet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Actually, they said like sometime next week will be released, telling the date for that. So that's good.
Yeah,
sure it'll
very
be
excited
Monday.
about that.
Street Fighter V on my birthday, which I'm like the closer that gets, the more and more excited I am for that.
Yeah, I
game.
really want to like sit down in the training room and just play that game.
Yeah, like just get back into like how it was for Street Fighter 4. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually like, I actually want to take the time for that now. Like, I just feel like that's in me right now, especially like right now. I'm not like really into anything right now. Like, this would be the perfect time to play Street Fighter 5 right now. But I digress.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Fates.
Cannot be more excited for that.
Which one are you getting?
That game looks real good.
I'm getting the combo pack, the collection.
Okay.
Tony, you're back.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
welcome back, Tony.
some stuff happened. I had to go on an adventure.
Okay, I'm glad you're not dead.
How did you already like pre-order
No,
combo pack?
I'm just gonna get
Good luck.
it. Yeah,
I've been trying to find one for a long time.
yeah. I mean, like, Best Buy will probably just have them sitting around.
Yeah,
so.
hopefully. Release day, baby.
Does the combo pack comes with that third one?
Yeah, it does.
With it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. How much is that all
Yeah,
together?
that's
It's 80.
it's like, and that's the only way to get the combo cart. So like,
Yeah, so like you're basically buying the two at full price, but since you're getting the combo pack, they'll let you have the DLC in the future for free. So
Okay, that's pretty
yeah,
decent.
it's a good deal
Mhm.
if you want to play all the versions of that game.
Isn't it interesting, like, because it's pretty much like they're just doing Pokemon Red and Blue. It's
Totally.
I know it's vastly different between the two, but like, it's like, that's like interesting that just bringing that back again. So smart move.
I
Nintendo.
like that. Like one is the older style linear Fire Emblem game, the other is like more like Awakening. Like I like that they're at least doing something like that.
Yeah.
So.
You gonna drug any girls, so like they'll
Oh
gender
my
swap.
god,
so you're getting both, but which one are you gonna play?
I'm so upset about that. I didn't know about it, and it's god, what a fucking terrible idea that was.
That's so weird to me.
So not Nintendo too. Like,
Yeah. Far Cry Primal. That's probably the one I'm excited for.
that's
That.
a $60 game.
Yeah, like that was weirdly $60. I was like, huh. I'm like,
I'm
okay.
like, this is Blood Dragon, right? $15. Let me just $60 game.
Oh, the Witness is $40. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's just that's weird because I guess that game is bigger than I thought it was gonna be. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wow, okay, so I guess it's like
this is a full
full-fledged
Far
game.
game. Yeah. So.
Or it's gonna be like Battlefield Hardline.
Yep.
And just be like, I kind of think it's gonna be like Battlefield Hardline, but whatever. Passwords Army Garbage Warfare 2.
Danganronpa is coming to Steam in February as well. It doesn't have a date yet, but that's cool.
Yeah, Danganronpa 2's already got announced as well. The Division.
Yep. Very excited.
Oh,
Previews have me even more excited. I pre-ordered
Twilight Prince.
Twilight
Yeah,
Princess HD
I saw
with,
that shit.
with an amiibo.
I was surprised you got that. I thought that would be sold out.
Finally broke.
That's where I'm at.
Finally broke.
This is gonna be the first amiibo, and it's all downhill from there. So,
Hitman Pokken Tournament, which is like that thing's like gonna be like dead.
yeah,
on
Michael
arrival.
Pokken tournament. You got to cover that with the esports.
You can't even use the controller that they're putting out for that. With like, you can't play like 2 players with that controller.
Wow.
So I don't think that game will be viable. I don't think that game will be tournament viable at all.
Yeah, I like the idea of it though.
Republic.
Nobody's playing it in Japan either, so
Single tier. Still don't know what Republic is, but
I'm somewhat interested in the game. This is a phone game. It's coming to PS4 now, but it looks interesting. It has a good pedigree behind it. Star Ocean.
oh wow, yeah, that's right. That's coming out.
That's for Japan though, but yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that game. Quantum Break. Couldn't be more excited for that game.
Yep, looks awesome.
Ooh, April's gonna be a big one. Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, April's fucking.
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a big one.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3
Ratchet and
looks great.
Clank. Look dope. Bravely Second. That's like Scott's and nobody else.
It's got
I'm
Scott
assuming.
literally written all over it. So that's April 15th. Mark your calendar, Scott.
Nah.
Star Fox Zero. I need to play a old Star Fox game before I play that one.
I want to believe
even
that Star
want it.
Fox Zero will actually end up being okay, but I have zero faith that it will be. So
Uncharted 4. No one mentioned that. Battleborn.
I really want to play Battleborn, and I don't know why. I think their marketing's working on me.
Do you think it's gonna be like it? It almost has to be like the Evolve.
Oh, totally.
/ Titanfall this year.
But like at its core, it is also a Gearbox first-person shooter, which are very fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. I mean, it seems like the trade show darling, like I mentioned earlier, but they will have single player content for that game. So
there might be faith for it, like hope for it.
Well, so I did a story that isn't published just yet. I'm not sure when it goes up, but kind of a comparison between Overwatch, Paladins, Champions of the Realm, and Battleborn. And Battleborn is actually the only game I haven't played yet because I'm not in the beta. And all of those games seem to be kind of competing for that online multiplayer, like arena-based kind of thing. The next thing in esports, I think.
Yeah. If I had to take a bet on which one I think would come out on top, it would
absolutely
10 out of 10 times
Yeah.
be Blizzard's game.
Absolutely. But Battleborn's interesting because it does have that single player content, and I think that that's where they could sort of almost make up for whatever they would lose to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch was one of the first games in a long time where I got to play on that free weekend that they had, that beta weekend, where I played a game. I logged out after, like a game, 20 minutes or whatever it was, 2 games. And I was like, well, that was fun. Like, I was legitimately like, that was fun. I would play that, again. Like, the character diversity is amazing. So, I mean, they're already like way ahead of the game, I think, when it comes to sort of competing for that esports multiplayer arena.
Title.
Yeah, but I don't know. Battleborn could be interesting. They showed some of that stuff at PSX, and I'm like, oh, I mean, it doesn't look awful.
Yeah, it looks alright. Like the game looks fun.
Like the only thing I have to say about Battleborn is interesting because like it seems like the only advertisement that game is getting is just like the openness about everybody is like just saying they don't care. It's like that's the only advertisement I've ever heard about that game now. So it's
Totally.
like it's just a weird thing.
And I think that's a fair assessment too.
Sure, but like it seems like almost out of his way. It's kind of like a pity type of thing. It's like, oh, I feel bad for them type of thing. Yeah. It almost speaks from the body game just because of that. But like obviously I'm not because it's multiplayer. But sure.
The first time I ever got to like look at it for an extended amount of time was at PSX, and like just watching some people play it, like
Yeah, it seems fun.
it looks fun.
I feel like it's been at PAX like 2 years now.
Totally. I just
Mm.
that was the time
And
like I really registered what it was.
It was definitely at PAX last year, but I can't remember if it was there the year before. But um, I mean, I don't know. I think it looks interesting, and to be honest, if it's got a decent single player portion, I would not be adverse to checking it out. But I mean, Overwatch is definitely the game. If I was to play any of those games online, Overwatch is definitely the game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Overwatch just seems fantastic.
And the character design is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Homefront: The Revolution.
Oh my god, that game.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I'm probably the only one excited
It's
for that.
weird to see like May, like the only announced games for May right now on this list are Battleborn, Homefront, and Mirror's Edge, which are 3 like AAA games.
Wasn't it like this last year? Like everything was just like top heavy, and like we had no idea it was like in the second half. I think
Yeah.
it was something like that.
Yeah. It was
It's
very much
usually
last
how it
year.
is.
Let's see. I said Woodsphere already. No Man's Sky. Anybody?
June. I'm very excited to play it.
Yeah, it could be
I
alright.
feel like people are losing interest in it almost.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just been in the ether for so long that
It's
like
been
people
it's,
still don't
it's-
understand
It
it.
just come out, release.
like announce it and release it. Like that's how
Yeah.
you got to do
Well, and people still don't understand what it is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I have a pretty good idea what
It's
it is.
it's a single player game is what it is.
I know.
And people like you know that now, Scott, but like I remember the conversations we had of like, no, that's what that game is. It's like ugh. It's just it's like
Yeah, it's
when you tell that to people, that's their reaction. It's just like, what?
because that's not what it came out as. It's
Yeah.
what it changed to.
I mean, like the thing is it came out as that's what it was always. It was always a single player game, but they didn't talk about it, right? They never really addressed that it was going to be like that. And I think that like maybe they wanted it to be more, but like yeah, by not just like letting people's imaginations go wild, like that's what that game turned into in people's minds. But it was always just a single player game.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
I'm actually really interested in that. Like they've been pretty quiet about it. I think they're just gonna wait until it's like actually because that was pushed from February to now it's August. I'm really like I really liked the first one. It was a very much Dishonored situation of like I feel like this is a
Only you
good
liked it?
foundation. Yeah, only I liked it. No, no, like Joe loved it and he liked it a lot more than I did. But like this is a good foundation of like, but like the RPG mechanics weren't like implemented super great. So I want to see what they do with the sequel to that, and it looks great and it looks like it plays really well too. So
Those trailers always look dope to me. Like
Yeah,
I just don't know
totally.
like the actual gameplay. It's like I don't know about
Like,
actually into that.
the loop of it, like I could get into it. Just I want it to be better, and I think this is what I want. So
Ukulele.
not coming out this year.
Definitely not.
For sure not.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
The first one was really good. Divinity Original Sin. So
Adrift.
I'm excited about Adrift.
Okay.
looks interesting.
I wish I could play it in VR, but
Batman Telltale game series.
I want to know what that is. I probably don't want to play it though.
Good call.
Below.
Below, obviously, very excited.
Below.
Crackdown 3.
No, I don't care. Sorry.
If it's
Cuphead.
like Crackdown 1, then
Then maybe it's all right.
I would be in. Yeah, because Crackdown 1's a really good game. It's pretty much what Saints Row turned into. But if it's like Crackdown 2, forget it.
Yeah.
Cuphead. That's definitely my type of game.
Mm-hmm.
But Dishonored 2.
I'm very excited for Dishonored 2. I wish that we didn't know nothing about it. That game's probably not coming out this year.
Doom. That game looks. I'll probably get that,
That game looks all right.
Yeah.
Looks fun.
Yeah. If anything, it's that. Fable Legends. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, that's on the, that
I
didn't
think
come out
that's-
last
I
year.
think that's getting
They
canceled.
were supposed to have a beta up for that last year, and that
I
never
agree,
came out.
Michael. That game's probably canceled.
I think that game's getting canceled. They canceled the beta.
Yeah.
Jeez. Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, very excited.
Obviously, super
Yeah.
excited.
Looks good.
Gears of War 4.
Very excited.
Yes.
Very interested. I don't know if I'm excited.
I haven't
I
just
need
played
that
through
multiplayer in my life right now.
I want them to do a new multiplayer. Having just played through Ultimate Edition, man, I could go for a new Gears of War game. Like I want that.
Ultimate Edition sours me, man. Just because of that dumb AI, but
The
like
dumb AI. I mean, like then I played Gears of War 2, where the AI is not terrible. So like, and like they moved that game up. Like it was originally like November, December. Now looks like they're targeting September, October. So like I think that game will for sure come out this year, and I think it's gonna be awesome. Very excited.
Gravity Rush 2. I'm excited for that. Halo Wars 2. I don't know if anybody's excited for that. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
I played the original. It was alright.
Hellblade. I've been interested in that game since they announced it.
Me too.
It's more of like the more they show like gameplay for that, like this interests me. It's more that this interests me in that game more, but the more about like the psychological stuff that interests me like a whole lot more.
Yeah, totally. I'm very excited for that.
Sure. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes, definitely. I'm sorry I skipped that. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally
Hyper Light
excited.
Drifter, I'm also excited about. Not a lot. That's an indie that I'm really stoked for. But
You know, like, I've always seen screenshots for that game. I've never seen like it actually in motion.
I've played it. It is excellent.
Sure, it's not like what's it called? Block. I just forgot it. The Capybara game.
No.
Okay.
It was Super Time Force.
There it is.
Yeah, no. It is.
No.
It is a top-down action game, and it is really, really satisfying to just move in that game. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
Mafia 3, which got announced, and then it's like
It's coming out. Yep. People are pumped for that game.
Are they? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Barrett Courtney, that's his most anticipated of 2016. Like, just like the theme of it, like, you know, bringing the mafia, the black mafia back to like New Orleans is like the kind of pushing theme, like pushing out the Italian mafia. A lot of people really like the aesthetic, the time period. A lot of people are very excited about that. And it sounds like a really cool game. So
Sure. Mass Effect Andromeda.
that has January 2017 written all over it.
Yes, it does. But that's up there with Persona 5 for me.
Totally,
I should have mentioned that earlier. Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Fuck you for even saying that name out loud.
Danganronpa 3.
Obviously,
Super
so
excited.
excited.
Oh yeah.
Nier looks awesome. Nier Automata, that looks awesome. Yo looks awesome. Good beat 'em ups that I'm interested in. Outlast 2.
There's gonna be a second one of those?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. That'll definitely be a game I'll play with Mark and Katie, but fuck, I don't want to. I'll have to control it again, so that'll be shit.
I'll play that with Damien and Ethan. We'll see what happens.
You should play Whistleblower before then.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I never knew you did that.
Yeah, we went and played it.
How,
was
what
fine.
you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It didn't redeem some of the problems I had with that game.
I mean, yeah, the game has problems, but like I just felt like it was like it was better than the original game.
Yeah.
Why did it turn into a bad Resident Evil movie at the end?
That was super weird.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
Like, I'm
describe
playing
it.
a decent survival horror game, and also all of a sudden it turns into like Resident Evil, the movie, and I'm just like, what is going on? What happened?
It was pretty good though. When that guy got like put through that grinder or whatever, it just exploded. It's pretty good.
Persona 5, obviously. Pokemon Go. I forgot about that.
Paragon is also coming out, which
Pokemon
I'm
Go looks
very
fun,
interested
man.
in.
Yeah,
I'll play it.
I'm really interested how that's gonna play out. Like
Sure.
you know, like you had the dream in my head, but like there's no way it's gonna be like
Not
that.
going to be as good as that trailer.
I'll be honest.
I am not gonna go to fucking Australia to get a fucking Mewtwo.
I will.
Go on, Scott.
We have reason to.
Yeah, you guys got the Australian friends. What are you going to be honest about, Scott? You were saying something.
Tony will probably rope me into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
sure. Definitely.
Record. Don't know what that game is.
I want that game to be awesome.
Sea of Thieves.
Very excited for that as well. I again kind of don't know much about it. Don't have a temperature as to if it's really going to come out this year, but we'll see.
Star Citizen. I don't know any of us care about.
It's not real. Star Citizen isn't real.
Yeah, it never was.
Never was.
Tacoma. That's coming out soon.
Fucking so excited about Tacoma.
Banner Saga 2, King of Fighters 14, Last Guardian, Legend of Zelda.
Very excited about Zelda. I wrote a little bit. I'm very worried about Zelda too, but we'll see.
As far as like modern game standards, as far as like it's trying to be open world.
You know, having recently played through Skyward Sword, there was the huge thing about that game.
When
was,
did you do that?
I don't know, when I played all of the Zelda games on our YouTube channel.
Oh, that's right.
/irrational having recently played through that game, like that, the big push of that was like collecting loot and using that to build items and like upgrading your gear. And I'm like wondering like how, if at all, this is going to play into the next console Zelda game. I don't know.
You know, if anything they take from Skyward Sword, which I just got reminded about this like recently from Craig from ScrewTech, but like is like the character interactions that have Link and Zelda were in Skyward Sword. If they take anything from that game, I think they need to take that as far as like character interactions.
Totally.
Like what's his Goose?
Bruce.
Yeah, like he was like an awesome character and everything like that.
Yeah.
They
He had
to
an
do more of
arc
that.
though. Like he went somewhere. Like he didn't just.
Yeah, and I feel like most Zelda games don't really have that. Like you talk
Exactly.
about like Majora's Mask.
Like Majora's Mask, and like the best part about
Majora's Mask isn't quite there though.
Yeah, but like there are some characters that do like go places that are really cool.
That's true.
They don't earn it as much as like Groose did because you don't have the time commitment of like you see Groose at like 20 different points throughout like this 30-hour game, right? And like by the end of it, he's like a completely different person. It's awesome. But yeah, like if they do more stuff like that, like the thing about Twilight Princess is like nothing fucking happens in that game. Like nothing happens. Nobody changes. There are no characters in that world really, except for Xanth and Midna, which are like those are the great characters, right? That you remember. But like outside of that, nothing happens, and it's like
it's funny because they set up for shit
Glad you
to
had that
happen.
pre-order.
yeah, and like they do, they put in the season.
They
so,
have they have the setup for it, but
Like,
they just don't.
find the middle ground of like having a really fun game that lets you play around in an open world, like A Link Between Worlds, having like characters that matter, like Skyward Sword, and having like a fun world to explore, like Majora's Mask or something like that.
Yeah. Valkyria, the new one that's coming out.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God. Finally. Yes.
Definitely. You know what? As far as like anything, as far as like new announced, that's like the only one that makes that noise.
Yeah.
like,
Right. Like
it's
just
like finally something. Yeah.
Like because we never would have believed that a new console Valkyria Chronicles game would come out, and it's happening. It's happening. Oh, I'm so excited.
Like it might not hit like tonally where I want it to be,
But,
as far as
like-
like it's something though.
Something, right? Yeah.
Yakuza 6, I'm the only one excited for that, and World of Warcraft Legion. I ain't another one doing more of that.
Yeah. Another expansion. Why stop now?
And that's everything for 2016.
That's 2016 in video games. A lot of good stuff. I don't know. Like I'm excited.
Yeah, did we talk about Final Fantasy Explorers?
Yeah, that was like the first.
Yeah,
one.
we did.
Comes out
But
next week, Tony. Jesus.
I know. How many people are buying it on the 6th when it comes out?
On the
Me and
6th.
you?
26th, excuse me.
and then me and you.
I'm gonna wait for you guys to buy it, and I want to get the temperature off of you two.
Okay.
And my friend keeps talking about it. Like,
I know I'm picking it up. So.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it.
Do it. Play with us. The dream team. all four
At
of us.
least get your friend to play with us.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
We don't have any emails or voicemails this week, so
Solar
that's gonna,
PR is probably dead.
I hope not. I hope it
Pretty
didn't snow
sad.
in Puerto Rico. So
That'd
that's
be crazy if it did.
yeah, it would be. So that's gonna wrap us for this show. If you'd like to be a part of the show, like the people watching or tweeting at us and whatnot, you can watch us live. We're live every Saturday around 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, youtube.com/irrationalpassions. And that's only if you want to watch live. You can watch the archive of that video for bonus content, or just wait for the audio version to come out on Tuesday as well. And those people were tweeting at IrrationalPod on Twitter. That's our Twitter account. You can also send us emails, mailsack@irrationalpassions.com is the email address, or voicemail 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees to apply. Do you see what we did there, Michael? Do you get it?
I'm gonna call that number right now.
Okay, I mean you can.
Yeah, go for it.
It'll send a notification to my phone and whatnot. I am on Twitter. All of us are. That's the best way to get a hold of any of us. At Alfighter27 is me. Scott is at What to Chuz. Nabishin is at NABESHIN186. That's Nabishin186. And Tony's at Tony Horvath. Mike, you are at Bizarro_Mike, correct?
That's correct. You're probably one of the first people to get that right.
I mean, I try. I follow you, so. But
Cassidy Moser gets it wrong all the time.
What
I can't
did she
remember what she
say?
said. I think she says. I feel like
Bazara?
no. I feel like she says my because I use Bizarro like 13 for all of my
yeah.
like my Xbox Live, PSN stuff like that. So I feel like she says that. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check, but she always gets it wrong. So shout out to Cassidy.
Yeah, shout out to Cassidy. She's awesome. I just got a tweet from Cameron that says, "Did you just jizz in my ear holes over Valkyria Chronicles? Really? Am I gonna have to pick this game up?" Just the. Some other stuff. Rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. That helps us out a lot. Check out VG Evo Podcast Network and our sister podcast, Malicious Pod X, which is about anime. I'm still working on streaming stuff. I'm sorry I've been behind about that, but it's twitch.tv/irrational passions and youtube.com/irrational passions. And don't forget to tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best way to spread the love. And for everything else, irrationalpassions.com. That's the website. Michael, where can people find you outside of Twitter? Just everywhere on the internet because you're writing for everyone?
Yeah, IGN.com. Red
You
Bull
write news
Esports.
for them, right? And news and previews.
News and previews. So I mean, people always ask me like, "Oh, well, can you link me to stuff you write?" I'm like, well, I mean,
If
just
you've read
depends.
news on IGN, you've probably read one of
Yeah,
Michael's articles.
especially if it's fighting game related. I do like 90% of all of the fighting game related news there. But it just depends on the day. Some days I get more work in than others, so odds are you've probably stumbled across my byline at some point.
Yeah.
Red Bull Esports, just Google it because they have a weird address.
URL.
It's not
Yeah.
like redbullesports.com. It's actually redbull.com/us/en/esports. So yeah, just Google Red Bull Esports. Anything Street Fighter related, I do there.
Yeah, you had a front page on Playboy as well.
Playboy, yeah, I made the front page.
Cover photo.
Yes, with Yoshinori Ono story, which that was I guess my favorite interview that I've done to this point. I feel like that story came out really well, so go check that out. Playboy.com/gaming. It's legit, and there's, for better or worse, there's no boobs. Sorry.
Can I make a request, Alex?
Yo, what's up?
It's probably too much for you, but like for our cover picture, can we just have like a Playboy and just have Michael as the cover?
Yes.
The
I can
cover
send you a
image.
centerfold, a spread if you like.
Okay, I will. I will see what I can do.
I am just kidding. I don't have a centerfold.
I mean, I don't doubt it. You can send it to me anyway, but
Send a dick pic.
please don't. Just my email inbox just
Hold on, my
explodes.
camera's on. I can take care of this right now.
Okay, I'm sure we'll just get this banned off YouTube, but that's fine. I'll see what I can do in that
And
regard.
having
For
said all that, I write for family-friendly-pixelkin.org.
me too. Those guys are awesome, though.
They are. They're a fantastic website. Check that out. They do a lot of cool stuff there, and I've got a couple things coming up there too.
Cool.
That's pretty much my regular stuff. I had a preview that went up recently on Zam.com. They're doing sort of like a site launch, so I'll be honest, I'm kind of waiting for that to happen before I maybe start doing more work there. But I got some stuff in the works, but my goal is to kind of do bigger and better stuff this year. So just follow me on Twitter at Bizarro_Mike, 1Z, 2 R's, and I pretty much spam all my shit there. So
Yep. Thanks for coming on, Michael. I appreciate you taking the time.
for having me on your humble podcast.
My humble podcast.
Yeah, your humble podcast.
Podcast. I mean, it was fun having you on. I feel like you did bring a lot of insight that is
Oh my
sometimes
God.
lacking on this show. So.
Guys, We need to start a drunk podcast and call it the Vodcast.
There's probably one of those out there.
But it's only available in video on demand format. That was
pretty good.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I really like your writing stuff, and you're definitely like a great freelancer, an inspiration to people like me that are still starting up. So I appreciate the
Yeah, get off your ass and do some work.
Yeah, I know. God, I don't do enough. Clearly not. But yeah, check out
Final
Michael's
Fantasy
writing.
VII.
Yeah, I gotta get my JRPG fix. That's the show. Thank you everyone for watching and or listening and or tweeting or however you like to interact with it. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved, respectively. And thank you Tony, Scott, and Nabishin for being my companions as always. Love you guys. Winky face.
Hey.
Hey, whoa. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games, stay rational. We'll talk to you all next week. So, Michael, what I need you to do is keep recording until I say stop recording.
Oh, too late. Just kidding.
I was about to say, so now we're going to go. Nabishin's been writing down titles at the bottom here. We're going to pick out the one that we like the most. Tony.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we're going to pick out the title for the show. Come on.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
It's in the Google Doc.
Don't worry. I'm going to read them to you.
Oh, it's actually in the doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you have to actually look at it.
Oh.
All right, Tony.
Wow.
Tony,
Here's
serenade
hype.
me with these titles. These
All right.
titlets.
So the first one is a reference to our out of show messaging. Tonex Horneal.
Literally, nothing is worse than Tonex.
No, nothing.
It is impossible to be worse than that. Oh,
It's cool outside.
Aloni is pretty great, though.
But matches are on fire.
But man,
We don't clap at all. Notice me, Silver PR Senpai. Trial by combat. Space made out of stone. Drank too much for no raisin. Dragon fin soup. The simple plot of Final Fantasy VII.
That's good.
Michael does what Nintendo don't. The last newsbender. Zeldy, please, it's Linkle. The Nintendo Vita and the Vodcast.
These are all good. They're always so good.
I feel like the selfish part of me just wants to say Michael does what Nintendo don't.
I do like it.
But if we have a you-themed title, it's got to be The Last Newsbender. Like, come on.
Yeah, the last
I
news
do like that one too.
is really good.
I feel like
though.
that's a good one too.
Um,
That's pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
yeah, I like that one a lot. How do we feel about the last new bender? Everyone else?
I'm good with it.
Newsbender. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Cool with me.
All right, Michael. I need you to say something with your peachy voice that's gonna go at the front of the show.
What am I supposed to say?
You're listening to Rational Passions Podcast, episode 262.
Am I supposed to remember that?
Do you want me to write it down?
Is that the start of the doc?
I mean, not really, but here I'm putting it at the bottom.
You are listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, backspace, episode 262.
You wanna do a second take on that one?
Hello, you're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 262.
Okay, I can work with that. I'll say the title. I'll cut it in. The Last Newsbender.
I am the last newsbender.
I am the
Thank
last
you for
news.
tuning in.
These are my news.
There were no more after me.
And you
I bent
couldn't
them all.
you couldn't rebirth your people. You can stop recording now.
And then the Fire Nation came.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Do we clap before we stop?
No, we don't. We don't have to clap at all. I like the clap though. I mean, don't take that out of context.
I bet you do.
Thanks for watching, video viewers. We love you all. And now I stop this.